Welcome back to Straight Facts. Lee Gunner and the Don Husam on the terrace this afternoon. We've got loads to jump into today. We're talking Gravenberch. Where is he going to end up, Man United or Liverpool? We're looking at the Amrabat deal. Is it off? Are Man United really interested in this guy? It's been going on a long, long time. We're talking Toney to Arsenal. Should they go in January after he basically, opened his heart on the internet and said, Arsenal, please come and get me. I love you. We're talking Balogun to Chelsea, reports of personal terms agreed in that deal as well. Plus, we're looking at the Arsenal reaction to last night from Lee Gunner with their second win of the season. But we're going to start today's show. Viewers, hit like buttons, of course. Subscribe, turn on bell notifications. But we're going to start today's show with Liverpool. Because good win at the weekend, still no marquee signing coming in. Is that becoming a problem for you, Husam? Are you, it's a week ago now since you lost out on your main targets and nothing significant has happened. There's a week of the window left. Are you starting to get more and more concerned, or do you believe there's a plan up the sleeve of your owners?
I mean, I've been concerned for the last 2 months, ever since we signed Szoboszlai. I think after Szoboszlai, things have went downhill from there, because the moment we signed Szoboszlai, it's like, okay, maybe Liverpool are looking to be a little bit more serious this season. Well, then, we just do as Liverpool, as per usual, do. Lack of seriousness, lack of planning. And I think, like, the people that I speak to that know things about the club, or let me know things about the club, or give me information about the club, I'm not trying to do up ITK, by the way. I'm just saying. These same people are telling me now the stuff that they've told me from 2 weeks ago, which is Liverpool are in panic mode as things stand. Liverpool Football Club are panicking. And you want to hear the truth. If I bring you Jurgen Klopp himself to straight facts right now, he wouldn't be able to tell you exactly what we're doing, because he wouldn't know what to tell you. Because the reality is we're just indecisive. We're not making decisive decisions. And we're kind of all over the place. And you can tell, by the way, by the whole Caicedo-Lavia thing. The fact that, we kind of kept on negotiating for what's his name, for Caicedo, for Lavia for that long, kept speaking to Lavia for that long, and then suddenly decided, like, nope, we're going to go in for Caicedo out of nowhere. And this is the position we have put ourselves in. And the reality is, the unfortunate reality that is, of course, is that this is exactly what Liverpool Football Club deserve. Because this is what happens when you have lack of planning in your team, when you have a lack of planning in your ideas. I don't think we know where we're headed at, or exactly what we're trying to do as a football club right now. And that's the biggest issue for me, that we're actually so indecisive that we don't know what direction we want to head in to begin with. So that for me is the main issue, because we're sat here right now talking about essentially a club that doesn't know, like, are we trying to win a title here? Are we trying to get back to top 4? What exactly are we trying to do? And I think that's the biggest issue for me. The fact that we're so undecisive, we're kind of leaving ourselves short. And the reality is, the date is currently, as things stand today, 22nd of August, 2023. And it's kind of looking like last year all over again. As a matter of fact, you could even argue last year's window is probably looking a good one. So for me, from Liverpool's perspective, we're just so not ready. I don't think we've made correct plans for the season. I don't think we made decisive decisions in the market. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, there's no need to even go that far back. Just 2 weeks ago, had we just paid 50 million for Lavia, our life would be so much more simple. Like, it's just, we'd have Lavia in there. We'd probably be looking at the center back now, and, we'd just keep it stepping. But now we're all over the place. The reason why Terry's talking about Gravenberch, and he's talking about Amrabat, and he's probably going to ask about Andre from Fluminense, and he's talking about every single person, is because we don't know what we want to do. So any single one of them is a possibility. That's the reality. That's what happens when the club is in panic mode. So this is just what we deserve, because there's no planning there.
I know, Lee, you've been very scathing of Liverpool in recent weeks, saying they're not serious. And, they've ended up with, they hadn't done the deal for Endo the last time we spoke. I mean, how big a downgrade is Endo from Lavia and Caicedo?
Oh dear. I've seen Liverpool fans trying to make out this is a great signing. It's It's one coming in that's got experience. He's 30 years old. He's got a good engine on him. He had a good World Cup and all of this rubbish. The fact and reality is, mate, yeah, that is night and day from the two players they were linked to. Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, the drop-off is mad. Yeah, and listen, they might go and get another one. I'd imagine they'll probably get another one. Sambi Lokonga's available. El Neni's available. El Neni walks in your team right now, by the way, because you haven't got in number 6. So, you know, we can maybe ship both of them up to Liverpool, pass them, package them, seal them, Amazon, straight up there. And, yeah, it's kind of funny watching it because the amount of midfielders that have been linked to Liverpool in the last 12 months that have rejected Liverpool is insane. 3 of them now play for Chelsea, Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo, and the other 3 play for Real Madrid. It's unbelievable. With Camavinga, Tchouameni, and Bellingham. Like, this lot were sitting there giving it. Oh,
when did Camavinga reject us? When did Tchouameni reject us?
Last summer.
Tchouameni didn't reject us.
Tchouameni rejected you last summer. Camavinga, yes, he did.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't reject us. Tchouameni didn't reject us. Madrid just made a much bigger bid.
So what you're saying is you're not serious.
Yeah, I know we're not serious, but that doesn't mean Madrid rejected us.
So let me put this on in simple terms, right? Your fan base, not all of them, but a large part of them, were all, yes, we're going to get Bellingham. We're going to get Bellingham. We're getting Bellingham. We're getting him. And then it was, oh, but now it's too much money. They want him. They want an extra 20 million on. Oh no, it's too much. It's too much. Then you go down the route of bidding 40 odd million quid for Lavia, and then Caicedo out of nowhere, you bid the money that you would have got Jude Bellingham for. Yeah, and then it was at that point you lot messed up. Yeah, because then why would Lavia come and join your club? Because you weren't serious about signing him in the first place. And maybe you was, but you didn't put the money on the table, which shows a lack of seriousness. Then you go and put double and more on the table for Caicedo, and then Chelsea go, yeah, we're going to pick him up from Brighton, and then we're going to go down to Southampton and get Lavia as well. Yeah, you've made an absolute shambles of this transfer window. And for your manager to be sitting there just waffling, protecting the owners is a disgrace. Yeah, he is a joke, mate. Yeah, that guy is, I don't know what's happened to him. He must be getting some good salary, mate, yeah, because the way he's sitting there as the lawyer for the owners is crazy. It is actually insane watching him. Yeah, and it's very similar to Wenger. Like in the last 7-8 years of Wenger, just sitting there lying through his teeth, protecting the ownership. Yeah, so he must have a good contract, mate, because he's finished at Liverpool, in my opinion.
Jurgen Wenger.
I don't think he's finished. I think that's very reactionary right now. I think you could be right, dependent on this season, but this season is going to be the defining factor for me, because this season will show if Klopp can take Liverpool going forward. Now, the reality is the problem do remain the same problem, which is the ownership. And the issue is we have seen managers before call out ownerships, even from my own club. I don't even have to go use other examples. Rafa Benitez called out, the owners back in the day, and he ended up getting sacked. If you want recent examples, you've got Conte, you've got Mourinho, all of them end up getting sacked at multiple different clubs. So I don't expect Klopp to just come out and go like, man, you know what, FSG ain't really backing me. I don't expect that to happen. But, even if he has indirectly stated a couple of things. Like he's indirectly said, we need players, we need a DM, we need someone in this position, etc. But for me, look, currently in the Liverpool fan base, there's a finger pointing happening. Oh my God, it's Klopp's fault. Oh my God, it's FSG's fault. I just think as an institution, we've lost our way. Like, because the roles aren't defined. There's no real sporting director there. There's no real director of football. The decision making is all over the place. And you can tell by our transfers. Because after Szoboszlai, what really have we done? We were linked with Lavia for 3 weeks. We got up all the way to 46 million. And we were just 4 million away from Southampton's valuation. And the Belgian reporters came out and said, there's not Husam information. The reporter himself said that Lavia prefers a move to Liverpool. He said it himself. But we ended up now, Lavia feels like his second choice because he's like, wait a minute, you've been negotiating with me for the last 4 weeks. And you think Caicedo's triple my worth? So this is what you do to me. So he felt essentially backstabbed. So he's like, nope, hold that, Liverpool, which I understand why he didn't want to move to us, because I'd feel the same way as a man of principle. The Caicedo thing, we fucked up the whole situation because we should agree personal terms first. But the Caicedo thing is actually negative PR for Liverpool Football Club, because now everyone knows we have 110 million. And that's why Crystal Palace wants so much money for Doucouré. Because we watched Doucouré yesterday. He ain't an 80 million pound player. He ain't a 90 million pound player. You want me to be honest? He's worth probably 40 million. Let's just be honest. He's worth 40. He's worth 45, maybe. If you want to go at a stretch, possibly 50, you could say the same price tag as Lavia. But because we're waiting until August 22nd and we're so indecisive, you're going to have to pay over the odds. That's just how
you say you wait until August 22nd. You should have been doing this 2 years ago. Yeah, but you got complacent. Yeah, and that's partly down to the manager. Yeah, the manager is not sticking it on the board to go and get you signings that you clearly needed 2 summers ago. Like, and let's be real, you could have gone and got Basuma, 25 million. He looks like a bargain right now. You could have gone and got him for 25 million. Yeah, and this all comes back to the way your clubs run. Your owners are a joke anyway. We all know that. Yeah, but the manager needs to be doing more. The manager needs to be sticking it on them more and saying, look, I need a player here. This guy can't do it for much longer. Yeah, look at your midfield last season. Yeah, you've got rid of 5 of them this summer, but only one of them's really a starter. They're going into this season. That's probably Fabinho. Yeah, Henderson weren't going to start every week. Yeah, Oxlade-Chamberlain never gets a game anyway. Clayton never wanted to be here. Like, who else did you get? James Milner. I mean, come on, he'll still be going at 50. Like, it's mad. It is actually a madness when you deep it, because when you were doing what you were doing in the title race year in, year out, 1 point here, 2 points there, winning Champions League, on for a quadruple, you should have been strengthening at that point. Instead, you weren't. You were like, right, we'll go again with Hendo. We'll go again with Fabinho. Like, eventually, it all comes tumbling down, mate. Yeah, and now you've got yourself into a sticky situation because now everyone knows you've got a load of money. And now Crystal Palace can pull your pants down. Yeah, and say, right, you want our player? Cool, 80 million. Yeah, he ain't even
the crazy thing is, I actually agree with everything you're saying. And this is the problem is, everything you're saying right now, I said a summer ago. I was on the terrace. I was actually one of the few Liverpool fans on the terrace with their heads. My head was gone.
But because I said all this.
But that doesn't mean Klopp's finished.
To demand more.
By your conclusion, the problem is your conclusion. Your conclusion is Klopp is finished. I don't think the conclusion is right, because here's the thing. You mentioned Chouameni and Bellingham, right? So you've already spoken about them. Caicedo, Barella. Klopp is showing like, okay, I want the best of the best. And when the opportunity was there to put the money down on the Caicedo situation, we did put the money down. So we also have to go like, okay, let me actually analyze this properly. It looks like Klopp wants the best of the best. Because just go back to the start of the window, Lee. You don't. I'm not even asking you to go back to last year. Look at the start of the window. It was supposed to be Bellingham, and then we were linked to Chouameni again, and then it was Barella, and then it was Caicedo, and then it was Lavia. So the levels keep going down and down and down and down. Now that can't be on Klopp, because Klopp is coming out and saying, I actually want the best of the best. Because if he did not want the best of the best, we wouldn't have laid down 111 million on Caicedo. So he wants these players, and he's trying to get these players. But if the club can't do that due to payment structures or wages or whatever reason, then I cannot blame Klopp for it. That's not Klopp's fault. That's the negotiating team's fault or whoever. Like, for example, the Caicedo thing.
I want to go out with Shakira tonight for dinner. It ain't going to happen, though, is it? Like, you might want something. Yeah, but let's be real here. Liverpool is not the Liverpool it was 2-3 years ago. Yeah, Chelsea, fair enough, they finished 12th last season. But when you look at Chelsea, yeah, the manager at Liverpool is better than Chelsea. Your squad's probably there or thereabouts the same. Yeah, in terms of all the players they've got in, they're still playing Conor Gallagher, for God's sake. Yeah, but when you look at your squad, it's not really, it's a much of a muchness. Yeah, so what is the defining factor here? Yeah, because if Klopp gets on the phone to these players, surely they'd want to go and play for Klopp, who's actually won stuff at Liverpool, a bigger football club, than going and playing for Poch, who's only ever won anything at PSG. So surely Klopp's getting on the phone to these players and saying, right, this is what we're going to do go forward. This is where I'm going to play. So he's lost his touch, mate.
Okay, can I ask you a question because I know Terry wants to go as well. Let me ask you a question. The Caicedo situation, can you blame Klopp? Honest.
Yes and no, because you don't put a bid in for a player that gets accepted and then leave him sitting in London for the whole evening. Yeah, at 1 a.m. you get him straight in an Uber all the way up to Liverpool, or get him to the nearest airport and fly him to Liverpool, get him around the training ground at 3 a.m. in the morning, yeah, and make sure he ain't leaving till he signs. Instead, you allowed him to stay in Chelsea and change his mind.
How's that Klopp's fault?
Because Klopp surely, if Klopp's got any pull, he ain't going to Chelsea.
So is Klopp supposed to take a taxi, drive to London, put him in the car, and take him back to Liverpool?
Yes. Jurgen Klopp. Hang on a minute. Jurgen Klopp has got so much power at Liverpool. If he turned round and said, when that bid was accepted, right, let's get a he doesn't have to get in a taxi himself. You call up Addison Lee and send a taxi to wherever he is. You get him straight to a private airstrip and get a private jet or a helicopter, but probably a private jet to get him to Liverpool. You get him out of London. Klopp has the power to do all of that, and Klopp has a lot of power at Liverpool. Liverpool fans have boasted for years about the power he's got and the pull that he has. I think to say none of this is on Klopp is completely disingenuous. And the question I've got is, in your opinion, Lee, where do Liverpool need to finish this year for Klopp to at least stay in the job? What are the expectations for him?
He has to win something. Yeah, I said this the other week. He has to win something. Yeah, because you can't go from being on for a quad, right, winning 2 trophies out of the 4, and then having a season like last season and then have no expectation to win anything this season. Right? Is this a serious club or not? So if he wins nothing this season, he should be gone. Yeah, he should be gone. That's then 2 seasons of nothing. Well, that can't roll. Yeah, see you later. Yeah, he's going down the same route as Wenger, man. I'm telling you, I can see it already. Yeah, he's just going to sit there on his massive contract, protect the owners, and do the bare minimum. Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad because he's a top manager, mate. He's a top manager, but he's stale. He's gone stale at Liverpool. Yeah, if he left Liverpool right now and came to Arsenal, Arsenal would probably win the league. Yeah, new challenge, new fresh ideas.
That the club's finished. That's what
it's finished in Liverpool. That's what I mean.
Liverpool.
Okay, but you just.
I'm going to let you respond in a second. Sorry, a lot of people saying that's not Klopp's job. Listen, I respect that. KJ has a job at the football terrace, and he has certain tasks that are his responsibility. But if he's not doing them, and it's going to impact me, but I just let it happen, well, it's not my job. I pay KJ to do it. It's still on me. Let's just say the person at Liverpool that's meant to make sure Caicedo doesn't stay in London gets to Liverpool and doesn't join Chelsea. Say he's not doing his job. If Klopp just goes to bed and ignores it, it's also on him. There's a very famous story at Man United where Fergie made that mistake. He did a deal with Paul Gascoigne. And Fergie thought it was done, went off on his holidays and left it. Spurs swooped in and took him away. Fergie learned from that until they've signed that dotted line, the promises and the handshakes and the yes sir, no sirs mean nothing. You need to get it over the line. And he changed his approach from there. So, I think, as I said, I don't think this is all on Jurgen Klopp. But for him to not, every other club, managers are criticized for who they sign and who they don't sign, who flops and doesn't flop. If you sign a player, Klopp's Paul, and his talent ID is praised. So therefore, if you don't sign a player, surely there has to be a percentage of blame that goes on managers. It can't work, but it has to work both ways for me. But in terms of winning something,
we see it all the time. They signed for the manager. The manager was the important factor in the signing. Yeah, so it has to work the other way.
That's
right?
just media talk. That's just media talk. And you know,
let me just sign for a football club if you don't like the manager, surely.
I agree with you. Let me disprove you using what you said. You just said if Klopp comes to Arsenal, they probably win the league.
Yeah.
This disproves your entire logic regarding Jurgen Klopp being done at Liverpool, because you've essentially just indirectly said, I don't think it's Klopp's fault, or at least not mainly Klopp's fault, where Klopp is at. And this is the thing. The Caicedo situation, I'm not saying, look, here's the thing. I would be silly to say Klopp is not to blame to a certain extent. When I put it in jail terms, I said, if I'm doing jail sentences, I'd give FSG a life sentence and I'd give Klopp 3 years. So I'm saying he's to blame. I'm saying he's to blame, but there's a much bigger culprit here. That's the biggest problem. So when it comes to Klopp, I'm not saying he isn't to blame, but that Caicedo situation, I don't expect him to get into his car, drive to London, put Caicedo there, fucking kidnap him, bring him to Anfield. If the club can do its job and agree personal terms or give him high wages or make him sign the contract, then that's club incompetence. That's not Klopp. Klopp didn't do anything wrong. You know, Klopp said, I want the player, they paid the money. So that's the thing.
But you didn't get the player. So that's on Klopp.
There you are. you just want to trigger me. I know. You just want to trigger me.
Sam, let's go back to what Lee said, where he said that essentially if he doesn't win, and I assume you mean a major trophy, Lee. Like, is League Cup enough?
Trophies are trophies. Okay. One of the 4 trophies, 5 trophies. Yeah, 4 trophies. They're in Europe, aren't they? Yeah,
okay, so I wanted to.
If he wins one of them.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So I wanted to specify that if Jurgen Klopp doesn't win a trophy this year, Husam, do you think he would deserve to lose his job?
You know, the Chelsea situation has taught me to sometimes sticking by the manager is not that much of a bad of an idea. And the reality is, unless we have an absolutely disastrous season, I don't really see myself turning on the manager like that. Because the truth is, he's the only guy who has a gold medal against Pep. I'm not talking about second place. I'm not talking about who finished second, who pushed them the most. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about gold medals. He's the only one who has a gold medal against Pep Guardiola, and he has won the Champions League as well in his reign. So it's not like the guy doesn't know how to win. For me, I don't see myself turning on Jurgen this season unless it's absolutely disastrous. But I do agree with Lee. We need to win something. And we need to, in my opinion, challenge for the title. Even if we fall off, here's the thing. You could challenge and fall off in February. It's not like you need to challenge and stay. Like if you fall off in February, that still is considered a challenge in some sort of way. So you could at least be in there.
You consider that a challenge? That ain't a challenge.
If you fall off due to squad depth, I cannot blame the manager.
Get a better squad.
Yeah, I agree with you, but once again, I cannot blame the manager for that. I don't think that's.
You can. He needs to demand more.
There you are. He demanded more, but the club couldn't get Caicedo. So what can I do? I can say he did demand more. So he wanted Bellingham. He wanted
if he gets you in the title race until February and falls away and wins nothing, you're cool with that?
No.
Liverpool really are finished here, aren't they? They're dusted.
By the way, that's what I
floor for Sam.
That's not my standard. That's the reality of the situation. But my standard is we should win the league 100%. Because if I'm going based on what I accept, I think Salah, I think Van Dijk, I think Trent, I think Alisson, I think Thiago are not top 4 players. They're not. They're win the league players. So I'm agreeing with you in that sense. But at the same time, we've got to look around them. And unless by some sort of miracle we have 0 injuries and it's utopia and everyone's just fit all year long, that's the only way maybe we could do it. But the reality is we need depth, which we do not have right now. And it's the same reason why you lost the league last season with the Saliba situation with Holding. Your entire fan base blame Holding. So you need depth to win the league title. It's just the reality. I'm sorry. You need depth.
It's an interesting one for me. I always think context is important. Me and Lee had this debate the other week. I think if he doesn't win a trophy, but Liverpool finish on 95 points, one off City, and they've been amazing all year, I wouldn't necessarily say sack him. If he finishes 4th or 5th, nowhere near a title race, doesn't win the Europa, doesn't win a domestic trophy, and you're not great over the majority of the season, then I do think his job needs to be looked at. Not because he's a bad manager, but you've got to remember Fergie and Wenger, in terms of the time they spent at their clubs, are anomalies. And even with Wenger, a big percentage of the second half of that wasn't great. Fergie started slow, but then the next 20 odd years were ridiculous. That's not the norm for long-term management. Spending like 7 or 8 years at a club and having them challenge for titles, winning things, that has always been long-term, even in the olden days where managers stayed longer. So there is going to come a point where no matter how good Klopp is, no matter how much he's backed, where he goes stale. And that isn't a prediction based on a crystal ball. That's looking at the history of football and what happens to 99.9% of elite level managers at elite clubs in the end. So there does come a point where Liverpool fans have to not think about this emotionally and say, there's going to come a point where it does end. And the same will happen with Pep at Manchester City, whether it's, I always remember Pep saying about Fergie, the thing he finds most amazing is how he kept himself motivated at one place for so long. Even he was like, I can't understand it. Now, no one thought Pep would last this long. Probably nobody thought Klopp would be at Liverpool this long because they were sort of looked at as 3 or 4 year managers. But that's going to come at some stage as well. In terms of Liverpool at the weekend, though, Husam, like what did you make of the performance? And you won fairly comfortably scoreline wise, but big mistake in the beginning, conceded a goal. You know, I did see a few people moaning about the first half. Like, what did you think of your performance? Have you seen improvements there, or are you concerned?
You know, just before I speak on the game, when you were doing that, when you were just speaking now, I was thinking in my head, the reason why I hate Chelsea so much is I can't even use the money excuse anymore because Chelsea have spent so much money and they're still shit. So it is what it is, man. I can't even use that against Pep. Game on the weekend, Liverpool-Bournemouth. I thought in the first half, to be honest with you, it wasn't really a good performance. It was a little bit of a reminder of last season and the bad times we went through. Those first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Bournemouth easily could have scored maybe twice or 3 times, even if I'm being honest. That there was, I think, if I'm not mistaken as well, there was a goal ruled out, an offside goal as well for Bournemouth. So Bournemouth started the game really well. We were lethargic, we were complacent. We woke up. We ended up winning the game, and for me, beating Bournemouth at home is like it's expected to beat Bournemouth at home. I think the issues, though, sometimes the signs are slapping you in the face. Like, even if you win a game, you get signs. You're like, oh, you see this weakness? I'm going to remind you of this weakness in April, Husam. I'm going to remind you of this weakness in March, Husam. Like, you just tell the weaknesses in the team. That's why I think we desperately need a DM and a centre back. And I think this club has been so indecisive this summer that I think if we got the Liverpool content creators from the terrace, besides Tom Little, to be in a room and actually make decisions at the football club, we would have probably given a better window than what we're currently getting right now, because what we're getting right now is trash. So on the weekend, for me, biggest credit for me has to go to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai has brought the pride back to the number 8 shirt after Naby Keita took the pride away from it, after Gerrard represented that shirt for 20 years with pride. Fucking Keita came in.
On the terrace, we call him Baby Keita. That's been his name since day one. Baby Keita.
I cannot deal with that guy. So thank God he's gone. But Szoboszlai, for me, honestly, unreal performance. I don't think the McAllister red card was a red. I know we appealed it.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, there's been some crazy. Look, Man United's Onana penalty that we should have conceded. The handball from Romero that didn't happen. You saw one last night. I know we're going to get onto that later. Tomiyasu being sent off for not even. Like, for barely touching the guy. The refereeing standards at the beginning of this season, all bias aside, including that red card for McAllister, have been a joke. A joke.
Yes. We can't be. The thing is, the problem is, look, the Premier League is the best league in the world with the worst referees in the world. I genuinely believe if we bring the Jordanian referees, they do a better job. No exaggeration. I just think the Premier League referees are at an all-time low. All-time low. And you know, as soon as I heard Paul Tierney was on VR, I'm like, nope, they ain't going to overrule this. But it wasn't a red card on McAllister. It wasn't a red card for Tomiyasu. There was another game as well with a red card. I don't think that was a red card either. The handballs that you asked me about, when, for example, for the United-Tottenham game, just go look at as a penalty in the Everton-Fulham game, the one not given as a penalty in the Liverpool-Chelsea game. There's such a lack of consistency when it comes to refereeing decisions. But for me, I don't think it's a red. We've appealed it. I don't know when the result of the appeal comes out, but I don't know if what I heard is true, but apparently if the appeal isn't successful, it becomes a 4-match ban.
Yeah, that's generally always been the case. I remember a famous one where Rio Ferdinand got sent off for elbowing somebody, and he appealed it, and then got a 4-game ban. Even though in our hearing, the Man United showed 4 other players doing the exact same thing that didn't even get yellow cards, and we thought, well, that would be enough to win because you can prove inconsistency. They still said no. This is the thing with it; they protect themselves at all costs. They very rarely like to admit they've made a mistake, and they do it every now and then when they don't have anywhere to go, but typically they defend themselves. But yeah, I thought that was poor. And look, the good thing is it didn't impact you in that game, but it could do when you go up against Newcastle at St. James's Park this weekend. Like, that's the thing. Newcastle, they did okay against City. They're away at the best team in the world. They obliterated Villa that looked really good. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be an amazing game this weekend, which I'm
guaranteeing we beat Newcastle right here, right now.
You think?
Guaranteed. Newcastle are holding an L this weekend. I as negative as I am about Liverpool Football Club currently, because they've given me no reason to be positive, I don't believe in Newcastle hype. We're beating Newcastle this weekend. I'm sorry. I'm guaranteed we beat Newcastle this weekend. Guaranteeing it right now.
That's a big claim. I'm sure we'll touch on that more Friday. On the other.
Make sure you click that.
I want to go to some of these super chats here. This here says the Lee versus for Sam. I feel for Terry. It's going to be the same after this stream. Lol. I will watch the stream after work. Big up LJ. Hope you're good, bro. Shombe here says, let's go Husam and Lee. Let's go 3 goats. We are in the mud, Husam. We are done as a challenger, but still we need to finish ahead of Chelsea. He also says here, love you guys. And thank you.
This is how far Liverpool have fallen. They just have to finish above Chelsea now. This is
listen. It's personal. It's personal. Trust me, it's personal.
It is. Lee wearing an Arsenal kit that dates back to the last time they had a positive. He had a positive Arsenal take. Big up, Kevin. That's a great super chat. I don't want a yes man and Endo Klopp out, is what Chumbe said. Listen, Johnny Boy here is backing you, Lee, on this debate. He really is.
There's a lot of Liverpool fans that want him out.
There are a lot of Liverpool fans that want him out.
A lot is a stretch. I wouldn't say a lot. I would say a lot.
Right, man. As soon as you get hammed a couple of times at Anfield, all your fans will be fighting.
They'll turn. Honesty here is a Liverpool fan says, big up Lee, big up Terry, salam brother Husam. Opinion on Andre, is it pronounced Pushin, for a move to Liverpool? Would you be happy with Andre and Gravenberch? Would you be happy with them, Husam, if you were to land them both?
If we, the rest of the super chat says, if we also get a defender, fuck yeah, I'd be happy. Man. Like, we get all three. You're telling me we're gonna sign 3 players in 10 days? That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, my brother. You know, honesty. Your name's Honesty. I'm just honestly gonna respond to you and tell you that when the more hope you have, the more hurt you will have. So just sit back, expect fuck all. So when we get one of these guys, we're probably going to end up getting one of them. Maybe Andre, maybe Gravenberch, maybe a defender. And we're going to call it a day. So the less you expect, the less hurt you'll feel. So, yeah. That's...
have no expectations, don't get hurt. We'll come back to the Arsenal ones a bit later. Question, though. Did you want Caicedo? It's a difference when fans and the board and Klopp want, because Klopp didn't want Salah or Mane. He wanted Julian Brown or Goetze. Yeah, listen, it's an interesting one, but you don't. The thing is with Liverpool, you don't have the same footballing directors anymore. So it's hard to know that. I think that trust has gone now in terms of trusting your board to pick the right players. Who's picking them? John Henry? I don't know. You've got some dude that's been on holiday all summer. Remember, Klopp said, I might walk if I don't get my transfer targets, and we have listen, we pretty much know with the money these top managers earn, we pretty much know none of them are walking away from their jobs. Klopp, Pep, none of them are going to walk away. None of them. League Gunner's
That's why Lee's
guy,
being unrealistic. He wants him to call out his employers out. That's not going to happen, bro. Conte got sacked. Mourinho got sacked. Benitez got sacked. Anyone who calls out the ownership gets sacked. That's the unfortunate reality for these managers. So, but he's come out and he said it indirectly. I need players. I want players. I want a DM. I don't know what more you want him to say. Like, he wants him to come out and go like #FSG out. It's not gonna happen, bro. Like,
I hear you, Husam. We've got a DM and centre back for you. Lokonga and Holden is what Johnny D2
had
says.
you said
doing the Lord's work in the chat, Johnny.
LJ says, have these two broken you? No, they haven't broken me. I'm sitting back. It's nice when they're out going at each other. I'm out of the way. I'm just sitting back here. I've literally got my this lovely office chair. The legs come up, so I've got my feet up and I'm just sitting back. It's great. That's Tuesday afternoon. The referees union is drinking club, I heard.
The referees union is a drinking club. That's a good one.
Drinking club. Sorry, I misread that. Yeah, it could be. It very much could be. You mentioned Chelsea, Husam, and I need to. We're going to have a bit of a segment here on Chelsea. First of all, I need to go to Lee on this. There's reports that they've agreed personal terms with Balogun, others saying that he's open to the move, and that there have been at least 3 rounds of talks. How gutted are you if Chelsea Football Club end up signing Balogun? Talk to me, Lee.
Well, Terry, I did say many times on this terrace and on other shows that Balogun is light years clear of Nketiah. I also posted a tweet out a few years back when I was on that platform, which I will be coming back to rattle them all soon, that Balogun should be getting £100,000 a week. And I got absolutely trolled for about a month off of the back of that. Because that was after, I think, we played Dundalk in the Europa League. And I was like, I've seen enough. Give him his, if he wants £100,000, give him £100,000 to stay. That was when he signed his contract. Everyone was laughing. Well, you're not laughing now, are you? Because we've now paid Eddie Nketiah £100,000 a week, and nobody wants him. So he's stuck here on £100,000 a week, and we're going to get about 50 million quid for Balogun. Like, mate, if he goes Chelsea, good luck to him. Yeah, hopefully we've got a buyback clause back in that contract, or first option or something like that. Yeah, because he is a top player in the making, man. Yeah, and again, the way a lot of our fans online are treating this guy is a shambles. Yeah, just because he was watching R9 compilations and said happy birthday to an Inter player. Oh, we look at him, he's twerking for it. They were quite happy for Mudryk to do it to us, though, isn't it? Yeah, like, have some shame. Like, at the end of the day, why wouldn't he want to watch R9? You dodged the bullet there, to be fair. Yeah, we definitely dodged a bullet with Mudryk. But why wouldn't he want to watch R9? Why wouldn't he want to watch that player? Like, our fans at times, man, they just make no sense. It's all, like, it's weird. And I look at it and they'll be saying, Oh yeah, but who was that player we got rid of and he went to Chelsea? Academy player. I can't remember his name. No, academy player.
Oh, academy player.
Yeah, academy player. He's recently just gone. What's his name? Hutchinson or something. Yeah, I can't remember.
The viewers
Amari Hutchinson.
Amari Hutchinson. That's him. Yeah, right. That's it. Big up the chat and big up Husam. But yeah, everyone's now laughing. Oh look, you can't get a game there. You should have stayed at Arsenal. They'll do exactly the same. Every time Balogun misses a chance, they'll laugh at him. Every time Balogun misses a penalty, they'll laugh at him. Every time he has a stinker, they'll laugh at him. Yeah, mate, that guy should be starting games for Arsenal over Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, he's a top player. He's got way more about his game than Eddie Nketiah. Yeah, Eddie's just a run around the 100-mile-an-hour merchant and might be a nuisance and then score a tap in, which is cool, but not to lead the line for Arsenal. Yeah, so if he goes Chelsea, they've got themselves a decent striker if they sign him, mate.
This super chat here says, same guy who moans about standards wants Arsenal to pay 100k a week to a meaty player in Balogun. This is why Lee's logic contradicts itself.
Well, not really, because is he better than Eddie Nketiah? If the answer is yes, well, go and have a look how much Eddie's getting paid, mate.
To be fair, we don't know that.
Yeah, Eddie Nketiah is on 100 grand a week. Is he better than Eddie? So on that basis alone, he deserves 100 grand a week then, doesn't he?
I don't think he's better than
Nketiah. Different language.
I don't think he's better than Nketiah. I don't think we know
meaty
that.
Player. Why is he meaty? Based on what? I don't understand it. But like I said, this is what our fans do. A lot of them, Terry. Yeah, he hasn't even left the club yet, and apparently he's now a meaty footballer. You know what I mean? Make it make sense, bro. That's why I just laugh at it, because like these are the same fans that rep Rob Holding because he had a good FA Cup final once upon a time. Same fans that want to have the bar so low that if you just get over the bar, it's seen as an achievement. They watch. If he goes Chelsea or any other Premier League club in the top 6, yeah, they will be on him from day one. Yeah, but they don't hold our players accountable, but they will hold that player accountable at a different club. So yeah, good luck to him. If he goes Chelsea, well done. They need a striker.
Sam, you don't rate Balogun, or you just don't know enough about him to say. I mean, because Chelsea need goals. They're looking at, and the two players they're heavily linked to at the minute, and these are credible reports, is Brennan Johnson from Forest and Balogun from. I'm not even trying to laugh. When I say I don't understand it, like they've signed so many top players, and I think Balogun's really talented, but are these two going to give Chelsea the goals they need to jump up that table? Because with 1 billion spent, the expectation on that club has to be high. You're laughing, so I assume you don't think these players are good enough for Sam.
First of all, I just want to publicly say I am not a part of the Nketiah slander. That has nothing to do with me. I think Nketiah is a hold it down player till the main guy comes back. So I think he's okay. He's not unbelievable. He's not shit. He's just okay in it. With this whole situation regarding Balogun, it's not about me not rating Balogun. I just think we don't know enough about him, because goals in the league don't translate to goals in the Premier League. That's the honest truth. Fuck the agendas. Lacazette was the top goal scorer in Liga. He came to the Premier League and he was looked at as an all-rounder, and Aubameyang was the goal scorer. So it was a different situation. It was a different scenario. Even when Aubameyang was playing on the wing, he still outscored Lacazette. So we don't know if goals in the league would translate to the Premier League. Now, is the talent there? The talent's there. If the talent wasn't there, Inter Milan wouldn't be in for him. That's the truth. Chelsea wouldn't be in for him if the talent isn't there. But the talent does not mean results unless he shows it and he proves it on the football pitch. Now, when it comes to Chelsea Football Club, when it comes to I still have my hammer.
To cut you off, why do you have such a deep hatred for Chelsea Football Club? Is this because I don't know? Well, I don't get it.
Big up the Hammers, man. Big up the Hammers. When it comes to Chelsea Football,
man's actually gone out and bought a hammer. Actually, looks like West Ham's hammer as well. You know, like he's
West Ham massive, mate.
Big up the Hammers, man. West Ham are massive everywhere they go. Big up West Ham. The deep hate comes from Lee. I'm a 90s kid. I grew up on Benitez versus Mourinho, so this ain't new. I've been on fuck Chelsea my whole life. When it comes to Chelsea Football Club, you know, me and Terry spoke about this on the Straight Facts that we did like Friday, and it's just like Chelsea just don't want to learn. It's like I don't understand why they are in love with these skillful, based on ability players who cannot put the ball in the back of the net. Chelsea need a robot. Chelsea need a guy who can't dribble, who can do fuck all except put the ball in the back of the net. That's what they need. They need someone who can score goals. That is all they need. It's literally pathetic, the fact that you spend 1 billion, and you're bringing up Burstow on from the bench. And their excuse is Broya's injured. Like as if Broya's fucking R9 reincarnated. Like, oh, Broya was supposed to be the guy. Like, who the fuck's Broya? Like, why are you acting like Broya's that guy either? Broya ain't that guy. So for me, you look at Chelsea Football Club, and Chelsea haven't, you know, I'm a rant a little bit. Brennan Johnson doesn't take Chelsea anywhere. That's the reality. He does not check. What's Brennan Johnson? He's an exciting winger who can dribble, and product in there. How many dribble merchants we have in the Premier League and in leagues across the world? So many. And the reason why, you know, because there are Chelsea fans listening now going like, oh, Husam, you speak out your ass. Oh, Husam, you're so jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I don't want my club to give 8-9 year contracts to players. I don't want them to give them these death row contracts that if I need to sell them, I can't sell them. Look at Mudryk as an example. Imagine Mudryk has a really bad season and Chelsea have to sell him. Who the fuck are going to buy out Mudryk 7-year contract? Which club on earth is not even Saudi Arabia would do that. Not even Saudi Arabia is out here going to buy a 7-year contract out of Mudryk's thing. So this is the thing. The decision making Chelsea keep making regarding these transfers, you could tell the direction is weird, because Chelsea, I know their fans don't like it, but when they were linked with Vlahovic, that's actually low-key what they need. They need someone to just fucking score goals. It's not that difficult. They need someone who's going to score them 15 Premier League goals. Jackson against the Hammers, big up the Hammers. Big up the Hammers. Jackson against West Ham missed 3 big chances. This is why you need someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. Does Brennan Johnson do that? No. Balogun is an unknown commodity in the Premier League, because this guy could bang and he could flop. That is just the reality. There's no need for me to sit here and do absolutes. He could be amazing and he could also be shit. Or he could be needy too. You never know. So for me, Chelsea, that's why I'm not worried about Chelsea. Chelsea are an afterthought, man. Chelsea are an afterthought.
It seems like you have a lot of thoughts about Chelsea, to be honest.
A lot.
An afterthought in the league, Lee.
Sam, you know what? Sam, you're definitely standing in the shower at night crying about Chelsea. 100%.
No. He has nightmares of Jose Mourinho.
Mate, listen, I know Jose and all of that, ghost goals and everything else, and that era is why there's a bit of rivalry. You are hating on Chelsea. Goal, by the way. You are hating Chelsea because they took your 2 number 1 targets away, and they pulled your pants down and smacked your bum.
Jealousy.
Secondly, you're hating them because you've been on this for a while now of the whole one call from Klopp, and it doesn't matter who else is in for our players, barring City, they choose us. And over the last 9 months, you man have been rejected so much, whether it is Jude Bellingham, whether it's Mason Mount, whether it's Lavia, Caicedo.
Look at you putting Mason Mount in there. You're so shameless. We didn't get rejected by Mason Mount.
100% you did. You were in
No,
for
we
him.
didn't. No, we didn't. Don't lie. No, we didn't. We didn't value him at 60 million. We did not value him at 60 million, Terry.
Well, we didn't pay 60 million. By the way, you didn't value Lavia at 60 million, but you bid it for him. You said that 80 million was too much for Caicedo, and you bid 115. So let's not act like you guys pulled away supposedly from Jude Bellingham because we've got no money. We're poor, and then you went and bid up until it was beaten by Chelsea, the biggest transfer in the history of English football. You man pretend to be broke. You are champagne socialists, bruv. You've got money. That is why you're hating on Chelsea. You know it, because they absolutely destroyed your pool logic and they pulled your pants down this summer. And your bum is still red raw from the spank.
No, first of all, Chelsea didn't spank me personally.
They did. You are singing.
Second of all, I don't think about Chelsea at night because I don't shower at night to begin with. You know, I shower during the day because it's hot. And when it comes to Chelsea, what did the 150 million do? He came on, he caused the penalty. He had a shit performance.
It's one game. You're so reactionary.
I don't give a fuck. Are we not talking about this weekend? Are we not talking about this weekend? Yes, we are. West Ham 3, Chelsea 1. West Ham 3, Chelsea 1. The Hammers hammered you. That's all I care about. So the Hammers hammered you. You lost 3-1, and that's what I give a fuck about. And also, Terry, you know, you're very cheeky with this whole rejections thing, because you try to include Mountain there because you want to do like a United thing. I snatched your chain with Gakpo. I snatched your chain with Nunes. Those are 2 chains I snatched. When it comes, hear me out. I'm gonna let you respond. Hear me out. Let me land. Just let me land.
Mild that shit. I admit to it already.
Just give me 10 seconds. When it comes to the other players you mentioned, I have no problem that I've already admitted publicly. Madrid and Barcelona have stronger pull than any Premier League club, and we're all stepping stones when it comes to Madrid and Barca. That's the ultimate reality, because 90% of the players in the world would rather play for Madrid or Barcelona. So if a player chooses Madrid over Liverpool, I've got no problem with that. I know where I am. If a player chooses Barca, same thing. Man City, same thing. Caicedo is a different situation, and you know it, Terry. When you sit here and you act like, oh, he's so excited to play next to under Pochettino and under those Stamford Bridge floodlights in 12th place. Like, let's be honest here. You know why Caicedo went to Chelsea. Deep down, if you are having a lie detector test right now, you know exactly why Caicedo went to Chelsea. And when it comes to Lavia, we stabbed him in the back. He didn't reject us. The same Belgian reporter that said Lavia is going to go to Chelsea, the same Belgian reporter that said Lavia is going to go to Chelsea, a week before that, tweeted out publicly, Lavia prefers a move to Liverpool Football Club.
Yes,
we just fucking paid the 50.
Hang on, Husam. Okay, you did land, and you landed in poo, right? Because yes, you're right. You are right. He did prefer Liverpool, and then he changed his mind and said no. He said no.
Why?
Because you ruined it, but he still said no to you. So even that doesn't matter. Even with Jurgen Klopp,
more attractive.
Even with Jurgen Klopp's pull, he still said no, because Jurgen Klopp, by the way, endorsed that move for Caicedo instead of him. You messed it up. And this is the thing with Paul. It's not about one thing. You don't just have Paul because of legacy. Otherwise, Nottingham Forest would have more pull than half the clubs in England because they won back-to-back Champions Leagues. But legacy plays a part. Your manager plays a part. How you make the player feel. Do they feel wanted? Do they feel valuable? Do they really feel part of your projects? The money you offer them is important because these are human beings. Most footballers are from working class backgrounds, poor backgrounds, and want to earn money. The footballing project is also key. What are you trying to build? Is it exciting? Do you have owners who are dedicated to trying to create brilliant football winning teams? And there's probably multiple other elements as well. It isn't just about you've got the best manager. And to act like, I said it to you last Friday, I get that an element could be money, but to act like every player is only picking Chelsea, who, by the way, in the last 2 decades have been more successful than Liverpool, to say that people are only going to Chelsea because they're being paid exponentially more than you is wrong, because your wage bill, by the way, right now their wage bill is higher than yours. But once they've removed their last 4 players by the end of this window, you guys are paying more in wages to your squad than them. So once Lukaku, Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech leave, your wage bill is higher. Secondly, and we proved this the other day, over the last 5 years, you guys have paid more in agent fees per player and in totality than Chelsea. The only thing they've done you on, that is true.
No, that is true.
That is literally true. We proved it on your tweets. And on top of that, Husam, yes, they've outspent everybody in the window in the last few years, in the last couple of windows. So nobody can deny that. And they've paid 2 or 3 midfield players exceedingly high amounts, huge amounts of money to buy them. But Arsenal have done the same thing. City have done the same thing in terms of the monetary value, and you've bid the same amounts as them. So acting like it's only about money when your club has done exactly the same thing is a madness to me. It's a madness.
Can I Sorry. Can I just say one thing as well? He mentioned about Gakpo and mentioned about Noodles, which put them in their worst league finish since Klopp got there.
So that's not on them. That's not on them, and that's not the point. Don't change the point. Don't change the argument, Lee. The argument is: did we snatch the chain? Yes or no? We snatched the chain.
So
I don't give a fuck where the chain ended up.
Is it on
I don't care where the chain ended up.
On the Gakpo Noodles thing, but I admit that I am strong enough to go, yeah, we got rejected. And
but that's not really info, is it? You've nicked
okay, no problem. Can I respond? Can I respond? First of all, you're mentioning legacy like I ever used that. I've never spoken about the reason why Lavia should come is because we have 6 Champions Leagues. I've never said that. I've always spoken about current regime. I've spoken about Klopp, I've spoken about the squad, and I've spoken about recent success under current regime. I'm talking about under Klopp. I never mentioned what we won under Benitez or with Ian Rush and Kenny Dalglish. I'm talking about currently. So I'm speaking about the current state of the team. I'm talking about the stability of the team. Now, is there footballing reasons? Yes, of course. Lee said it earlier on. You have to at least like the manager of the team you're going to. Like, it's not like, you know, Pochettino, like, he's not random, you know. Pochettino is still, like, people want to play on the Poch. I accept that. When it comes to the Lavia situation, you just said it yourself when you were listing on the reasons. You listed plenty of reasons. You said how you make the player feel. And I've already said, when it comes to Lavia, had we just put in the 50 million 2 weeks ago, he'd be in a Liverpool shirt now. The reason why we fucked that up is because we turned around and we paid triple the money for Caicedo, and then Lavia's like, whoa, this is what you're doing to me right now? So it's a whole different situation with Lavia. It's not the same thing. Now, when it comes to pull, through this entire mess, I still say that Liverpool Football Club have the second strongest pull in the Premier League. Poor execution does not change the idea of pull. Poor execution of your pull.
It does, though. It does.
Let me land.
It does.
Give me 10 seconds.
But you've admitted it yourself. Because of your poor execution, it stopped you from being able to pull the players. Therefore, execution is part of pull. And the fact
execution is not part of pull at all.
Yes, it is. You just said
no,
it was.
It's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you go to a beach right now,
did you say? Hang on. Did you say how you make the player feel is part of pull?
Yes, of course.
So
no, not part of.
So if your execution is bad, and you make the player feel bad, it's part of your pull. Done.
Okay. Making a player feel bad versus executing the transfer are not the same things. We didn't execute the transfers correctly. The execution of the transfers wasn't there. If you go to a beach right now, Terry, and you're stood there topless, your pull, if you have, you know, I don't know about your body, pause, but like if you've got a good body on you and you're stood there in a beach, your pull is there. But then if she comes to speak to you and you don't know what to say and you're stuttering and you have no game, you fucked up. That doesn't mean your pull ain't there. Your pull is there, but you just can't execute.
No, that means your
because
pull
you didn't pull. You didn't pull.
Hassan, you're cooking yourself here, bruv. I put you on the barbecue. You are seasoning yourself, bruv. You are seasoning yourself. If you stand on a beach, shirt off, and a lady walks up to you and she says, I like you, and then your chat is so bad she walks off, your pull has been damaged. You've literally done it. You, man, messed the pull up. We're going to go to some super chats here. That have come in. He's mad because he's seen us win more in his life, is what man like Don says.
Don, you're mad because you lost 3-1 to the Hammers. That's why you're mad. And you've been in my DMs ever since. So hold that.
Big up, Don. Baba here says, Terry, with all due respect, you're conversating with a snitch right now. Snitch pool shouldn't be taken seriously. John Henry. Flies to snitch. It's true. Yeah, true. Snitch FC. This here says Big Sam. Make or break year for your owners. Same question for you two.
Am I Big Sam? That's mad. Big up to you, Debbie. Yeah, I mean, for our owners, it's already break, to be honest with you. I don't think it's make or break. It's break already for me. So, look, it depends on what happens in these next 10 days. But I think FSG are just out here.
Can you pass what you are smoking, Husam, is what Chelsea man says here.
Don't smoke cigarettes. They're bad for health.
Can we have Lee's response to... Okay, we'll come back. We'll ask that when Lee gets here. This is from Chike. He says, Terry, how comes Todd Bowley come to England and find these loopholes to avoid FFP and people get infuriated over it? Also, Lee and Don, at what age did you get your first credit card and debit card? That is a weird question. That is hella weird, Chike. People are angry because their club didn't think of it. These guys can answer if they want when they got their first bank card or debit credit card. I don't know. It's up to you boys. Don't feel obliged to answer that personal question on that. Chelsea have a Kobab rotisserie in Lukaku.
Wow.
He'll get sold in the end. Husam is mad. Hazard is clear of his idol. Is what Jose
Hazard
says.
won't even get into the top 5 Liverpool players of all time list. Relax.
Who's better in your opinion, Husam? Hazard or Mo Salah?
Mo Salah, of course. And I know you want to start this Lee debate because he thinks Mo Salah's well back because he's done out here. So
Hazard's miles clear, man. And I don't
No,
even
he's
rate
not.
Hazard. Like,
No, he's not.
Hazard had all the ability to be the best player on the planet. Yeah, and that's why.
And how did he execute it?
Well, mate, he's won more than Mo Salah has.
Oh, there you are. One more.
There
What
you
did
go.
he
So he
what did he
executed
win?
it pretty well then, didn't he?
No, what did he win more? What did he win more? He won 2 Prens and nothing else at Chelsea. And at Real Madrid, he's contributed just as much as me and you have.
Well, it doesn't matter. He still won them. He's won 6 trophies.
Oh, okay. So you want to be shameless. Okay, you want to be shameless. Then.
When you have the conversation about put your medals and trophies on the table, Eden Hazard has got a lot of trophies and medals, more than Salah. So he executed it pretty well.
No, he didn't, because he never reached the potential he was supposed to reach. It's actually one of the biggest.
I agree with you on that.
Him moving to Real Madrid is one of the biggest failed transfers in football history.
100%.
100 million.
Yeah,
As the
100%.
star of the Premier League, you go to Madrid and you embarrass the entire league over there.
Yeah,
Pull up
100%.
overweight.
Oh,
Come
yes.
on.
I totally agree with you. I
Okay.
think that guy had all the ability to win Ballon d'Ors. Yeah,
Yes.
away from Messi and Ronaldo, because he was that good and that talented, but he was just lazy, man. He didn't want it.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay,
I would,
but that's the point then.
I
Mo
would
Salah
personally-
executed that.
I would personally sign Mo Salah, knowing what we know now in terms of longevity, fitness, and everything else. But in terms of technical ability, we know Eden Hazard was better. Sam here says, you lot keep talking about Paul. It's a total package for the player. Rice wouldn't have come if there was no Champions Leagues, an upwards trajectory, not because Arteta nor Klopp's Paul, irrelevant for the player.
I don't think it's irrelevant.
I think manager Paul does have a part in there. I think it all plays a part. Can Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool form an alliance just to cook Chelsea?
I
Chelsea
can never
did-
form an alliance with Man United. Never.
No, I get you. Chelsea did the same thing with Lavia and Caicedo, though, for saying Liverpool didn't have the pull because they tried to sign Caicedo. Makes no sense.
Thank you, Peter.
Sam, did you snatch your chains? Fake $2 chains?
I actually did snatch both chains, and Nunes scored twice against you, and so did Gakpo in the 7-0 win. So it was a very good chain right there.
Honestly, here says, I am sorry. I meant this guy is stealing a living. Worst sporting director in the top 6. No cap. It's true.
York Schmackers and Ibiza as we speak, by the way.
He says, yeah, the biggest transfer for us would be a new sporting director. I really wanted Ralph Rangnick because of those guys are stealing a living, is what he said earlier. Lee, would you be happy for a player swap Balogun plus 20 million to Brentford for Toney?
All day long.
That's a good idea.
All day long. I don't understand why we haven't done it. Yeah, he gets to stay in the Premier League, he gets to stay in London, and we get a top striker, the second best striker in the league. Now Harry Kane's gone.
You think the January thing plays a role?
Well, he can play from the 17th of January, but he can train from next month. So why not get him in? Just get him in, get it done. Give them Eddie Nketiah or Balogun, maybe both. Because let's be real, if anyone buys Ivan Toney, it's going to cost upwards of 70 million. It ain't going to be a cheap signing. Yeah, the amount of goals the guy scored for Brentford last season, yeah, you'd think that if you put him in a better team, that he's going to kick on from there as well. He's done it every single season. He's got better every season. So, and he's still only, 27?
Unless Arsenal don't rate him, there's no reason to not go and get him. Since he was with Steve Bartlett, since he did that podcast yesterday, the fact that he's like, I loved Arsenal, I love watching them. I was a Liverpool fan now. I know that anyone can still sign him.
Again, Liverpool with their no pull. He actually supports the club. Don't want to go there.
Oh my God!
Ivan Toney's done you, Husam. He's done ya. He's done ya.
No, he hasn't. He's a Liverpool fan. We don't need
you.
a striker, man. We don't need a striker. That's why.
He's a Liverpool fan that don't want to play for Liverpool. Mad.
Jeez.
Lee, can you stop being disingenuous to piss me off? That's not how life works.
It's not disingenuous. It's literally what he said.
No, he said, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I have a soft spot for Arsenal. Same way me as Husam, I want Arsenal to win the league.
Come and get me. I want to play for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, it comes back to what you said about feel like they wanted at a football club, yeah? Wanted it. He said that on that podcast yesterday. He goes,
pretty sure if Liverpool called Toney, he'd go like, no, I don't want to come. You're right.
Yeah, well, he won't. Why would he go to Liverpool?
You're so full of shit, Lee. Honestly, you're so full
No,
of
real,
shit.
real
You
talk.
know you're lying through your
Firstly, who
teeth.
wants to live in Liverpool? Nobody. Right?
There you are. There you are.
Yeah, let's just be real with it.
Geography prop. First of all,
I
the
do like
players
the
live in
Scousers
Manchester
before they
anyway.
all start crying. Scousers are actually very nice people, all the ones I've met.
Thank you.
But you don't want to live there. Right? And even the surrounding areas. Really? You know, a million miles away from where your family are. His family are from Northampton. Yeah. He lives in and around London as well.
The players usually live in Manchester, the Liverpool players.
Bro, you're forgetting the Port of London is bigger than the Port of Liverpool.
I agree. I've never denied that. You're saying, why are you making up shit?
So if Jurgen Klopp phones up Ivan Toney and says we're coming in for you, I actually reckon he'd reject you. Maybe I'm being deluded, but I don't think he'd want to move all the way out to Liverpool, mate. Especially when you're in the Europa League, looking on a downward trajectory. We're on the upward by the looks of it. Won our first 2 games, need a striker that walks straight into the team. And he also said this on that podcast. He said, if I go to another club, I have to be the main man, not the second guy or the third guy. He goes, I've always wanted to be the main man. And if I ain't the main man, I ain't going.
Yeah, but
Lee, be the main man at Arsenal.
Lee, this subject feeds into a super chat really well from D Little, who says, "Can we have Lee's response to Husam saying Liverpool have more pull than Arsenal? Do you think Arsenal have got more pull than Liverpool right now, in your opinion, Lee?"
Right now, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's just be real with this, yeah? Neither of our clubs really go out and sign world-class players that are world-class when we sign them. Yeah, they've done it with Mane, Salah. They weren't world-class. We've done it with other players along the way as well. They weren't world-class. But if it's a choice of London or Liverpool, I'm sorry, most people want to live in London. They really do. That's not being a mug of it. They actually do. But then both clubs can pay similar wages. We could probably even pay more. Yeah, and we're in the Champions League, which apparently is a thing for a lot of these players. You're not. Although when you are in it, you have a great chance of winning it. But unfortunately for you, my friend, you're not in it. So right now, as it stands on the 22nd of August at 5:53 Spanish time, Arsenal have a bigger pool than Liverpool.
Damn, I'm only an hour ahead of you. Liverpool have more pull than Arsenal. I think if you're talking about geography, of course players would rather play in London, 100%. I've never denied that, by the way. I've actually genuinely never denied that. But I'm just talking about as a manager, as a manager, Klopp versus Arteta. If we're talking about players, players want to come play next to Mo, next to Van Dijk, next to Trent. I've always explained this, and I think we've recently won stuff, like big stuff, under this manager. Not Ian Rush, and I'm saying this manager. Under this manager, we've won stuff. So I think, look, 1 year doesn't change a club's pull, man. I think if we fuck up again this season, then all your arguments are valid. But I'm just waiting this season first.
There's something going down my road. I live in the countryside. There's something mad going down my road. I don't know what it is. It sounded like a train, but there's no train tracks.
It sounds like the train in the Europa League, in that Europa League stadium.
Can you hear that?
That actually sounds mad.
It's a steam train. It's a steam train going down the main road.
Huh?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, let's get back to the podcast.
So where exactly do you live, mate? There's some weird stuff going on here, mate.
The sticks, the actual sticks. I mean, I've got the window shut. That's how loud that was. It's crazy. Yeah.
Maybe it's Jurgen Klopp. He's come to have a go at you, mate. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, I mean, you've been going on about Paul for a while now, Husam. And every time you talk about it, your club misses out on a player. Maybe you shouldn't say it.
Are you going to do this happy now? Blame me for my club not signing players. It's not my
fault. You're kind of jinxing it every time. We can't.
Maybe. Football gods.
I don't believe in this jinx crap. We should have just done it from the get-go and just fucking got it over with.
The super chat here says Husam has a soft spot for Arsenal because Man United and Chelsea absolutely ruined his childhood. It's painful watching Gerrard not win the Prem. Facts.
Actually, the reason why I have a soft spot. Can I explain myself? The reason why I have a soft spot for Arsenal, despite Lee's best effects to ruin that soft spot, is the fact that in my entire lifetime, we've never been good when Arsenal were good. And we've never, it's either we're good when they're crap or we're crap when they're good. So haven't really had a reason to, there was no real rivalry in my entire lifetime. Like, we've been shit when they're good or vice versa. And at the same time, Arsenal, I just look at Arsenal as like the cousin from London, to be honest with you, because there's nothing there. There's nothing there in there for me. And this season, when Arsenal go up against, if we can't win it, if Liverpool Football Club can't win it, then I'd rather Arsenal win over City, because Arsenal are a proper club. We all know City are a fake plastic club with no history. So I don't want City to win it. I'd rather a real football club win it, not a fake invented one.
Who would you rather win it this season if you had to pick, Man City or Man United?
You know the answer to that. You know.
I don't. Who would you rather?
I would choose my biggest enemy on earth over Man United.
Wow.
I like that.
Wow.
That is a great answer.
Clip that, CJ. Clip that. That'll do some traction to Twitter later.
Bro, I'm a Liverpool fan. You think I'm choosing Man United? Fuck Man United. Fuck that, bro. I'm choosing anyone over United. Anyone.
Won't go to Liverpool. Car would be on bricks on talks.
Brother, you have a Nottingham Forest profile picture. I didn't know Nottingham was fucking Paris.
Hey, Husam,
you've never been to Nottingham,
mate. Husam, would you take Calvin Phillips or Norgaard as an example?
These men are desperate. They're taking anyone right now.
No, I'm not. I'm not taking fucking Norgaard. Are you mad? I'm not taking Calvin Phillips either. I'm good. I'm good, Sam. Big up to you. See, I see the Emirati dirhams there. Big up to you, Akhi, but I ain't gonna do all that, man.
Hightail, love the channel. Flo is not better than Eddie Nketiah, is what's been said. I can't read that name, by the way. That looks like it's in Russian or something, but I can't read that. But thank you for the super chat, G. Big up, great panel, very entertaining. Couldn't believe Klopp has sent Husam mad. He's sitting on screen waving a hammer around.
I'm waving a hammer for a good reason, because it's just fuck Chelsea settings. It's just fuck. It's
I hear you on that. This here, because Lee, we should go. This is an Arsenal fan. We should go for Vinny Jr. and Usherman.
That's all good in theory, mate. But unfortunately, the reality is completely different. We'll have Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah.
Murad just sent a 400 million worth on a super chat there. That's 400 M's right there.
Blue here said 900 million spent and our main striker will be Balogun. Dead is what this. Well, he says our. No, sorry, your main striker.
He's trolling.
Yeah. Just like Chelsea fans do to Mount and Havertz, banter will always come from other fans, but I have to agree Balogun should be staying and starting because he seems to have a better potential than Eddie Nketiah. That comes from man like Peter
24
Baker.
years old, mate. 24 years old. Just deep that. He's 24 and he's still that bad. He ain't getting any better, is he?
Matthias here says both are not players I lose sleep over, talking about Eddie and Balogun. I actually don't care if we sell both. That's what the standards should be, to fight for your own fan base every week.
I totally agree. I'd sell them both. If we're not going to sell them both, then I'd sell Eddie over Balogun. But I want Ivan Toney at Arsenal. I've said this for 3 years, mate. Don't get me that bad man up front.
Well, there's a lot of talk today that Man United might come in for him in January. And again, I hope we do. I think Toney is class.
Listen, United. You're crazy.
Why not?
Well, if the Liverpool pool's that big, as Husam keeps telling us, then he will never play for Man United.
Oh, mate. Yeah, true. But the thing is, listen, I think if Arsenal or Liverpool go in for him, depending on, especially at the start of the season, you'd get him. But there's no guarantees either of you. I mean, Liverpool won't. They've got Gakpo and Nunes. And your manager might not go for him.
As well, like, we have so many strikers.
And Jota, yeah. G here says Balogun isn't better than Eddie and shouldn't be starting for us. Lee just uses it as an excuse to criticize Arteta. Lacazette outscored him last season.
Lacazette's also
I brought that up as well.
8 years older, more experienced, and that was Balogun's first full season of professional football. Like first full season playing for a team. Yeah, like this, but this is what I'm saying. Not a diss to that person either. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. The hatred or the undertones of hatred for Balogun, now that he's linked to a move to leaving, like Arsenal, it started already. Trust me, every time that guy misses a chance, they're on him. Why? I don't get it. It makes no sense. What has Balogun done that is so wrong that Arsenal fans are now making out Eddie's better than him? Like, if you put Eddie Nketiah in the French League last season, he ain't scoring the amount of goals Balogun scores. That's a fact. Yeah, that is a fact, mate. He probably wouldn't even start for most of the teams out there.
LJ here says, did any of you guys watch the Toney interview and his next club preference? 2, I'm starting to believe those theories about refs taking bets. A lot of people believe those theories. Yeah, we mentioned the Toney interview already, LJ, top man. We'll come back to this one a little bit later. It's going to off topic, as it says. For Sam, Liverpool have more pull in the short term, but if I'm Enzo and Caicedo, I see Chelsea aims to win and Liverpool aren't serious. You win, so they have more pull. I think that alludes to a lot of what Lee said in terms of the ambition of the club, the direction they're trying to go in. Zane, good point there. Will City deal help Barca? What City deal?
City's deal? I think if you're talking about Ansu Fati to City, then it might help Barca from a financial perspective.
Monetary point of view, yeah.
Barca they're making out, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah, look how many players they've signed since apparently they've got no money.
Yeah.
Lee, by the way, no one buys that.
Crazy.
Barca will always have money, man.
Oh,
No
poor
one.
Barcelona, they've got no money. Do me a favour. Yeah, they signed Lewandowski. Yeah, they're signing all these other players. Like, they've got money, man. They're just pretending to lower the standards. Barcelona, I know they won the league last season, but their fans, mate, have fallen off a cliff. Like, a lot of their fan base online have fallen off a cliff, which is why Real Madrid sweep up everything this season.
The pool of Bayern is more than the rest of the Bundesliga. We know that's true. Lee, I totally agree with you in regards to pool. That's from this Newcastle fan here.
We're
going to smoke you this weekend. Remember me.
Lee, do you have your rice shirt yet?
Not yet, but I am getting it. Don't worry, man.
He's getting it. It's coming in.
Good time. I always pay my bets. I always do.
Brent here says the man not worried about Chelsea is waving around a Fisher-Price hammer around. Make it make sense.
First of all, I'm from Jordan, so we need this for the smaller nails. You want me to go get the bigger hammer? I'll go get it, no problem. But you're not that worthy of me getting the bigger hammer.
They were talking about Caicedo going there. Yeah, I mean, it's going to Cancelo. Sorry, why I keep saying that. Have you seen the head of Spanish FA kissing players? Yeah, it's a bit awkward.
I think that was photoshopped, wasn't it? Was it photoshopped?
I don't know. I didn't watch after we lost. I turned it off. I never watched the ceremony afterwards.
Oh, you can stop pretending you like women's football now, then, Terry.
You know what? Like, I'm one of these people. I'm really honest about it. I don't watch the women's Premier League. I just don't have. I physically don't have the time. But I treat women's football how I treat like men's rugby. I literally watch the men's World Cup and the Six Nations. I don't watch rugby all the time. I watch the women at the Euros and the World Cup. That's about its capacity, really. And that's what I think about when there's all this pressure to watch all these different sports. It's like, by the time I watch every top 16 play over the course of the weekend, and I watch every single top 16 play, do my shows on them, which are always an hour to an hour and a half each, and all my other content, plus watch my boxing and my UFC, it's like, I don't have any more time to watch. That's why when people tell me they watch multiple games across 4 or 5 different leagues in Europe each weekend, I'm like, you're lying. You're lying. Some of these guys have got wives and kids. I'm like, there's no way you've got the time and a job. Liars.
Apparently that was real. Yeah, the chat is saying it was real. He did kiss her.
That looked bad to me. Unless that's your missus, your other half. There's no reason to ever do that. It's crazy. Husam follow. I don't know who that's meant to be.
Dajjal, Antichrist, or support Man United. don't ask dumb questions, man. I'm not gonna answer.
I can't lie.
I didn't know what that word meant. I wouldn't have read it out if I did.
I'm just happy they ain't cooking me this week. I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah, I cooked you enough already with your Klopp take.
My match plugging out. I'll be 2 seconds, yeah.
All right, no worries, man. Ahmed here says a warning from a Bayern fan. Gravenberch not getting minutes at Bayern isn't for no reason. He is fantastic technically, but he can't defend at all. He has so much potential, but he can't play if he's a cone. Yeah, I think people have got concerns over that, Ahmed. It's a great super chat. Klopp has greater pull than Arteta. Big clubs taking L's all summer after player convos with Arteta owning the market. I actually heard Bayern can't even practice without asking for permission first. Kevin Lee going in there. I like that. Blaze says, for Sam, just imagine Caicedo and Lavia going to United instead. If they didn't go to Chelsea, surely that will help you cope better. This is the endo. This is the endo of the joke. A little bit of banter there.
Blaze, fucking Chelsea fan. Where's your win, huh? Where's your 3 points on the board? Let me plug in my charger.
No worries, mate. Big up, guys. Lee, you're one of the few Arsenal fans I follow. Question for question for Terry. What's your thoughts on our front three, United? Rashford needs to be on the left. That's where he's at his best. It's true. You're laughing. It's a fact. Anthony, I'm very quickly losing patience with him taking man on. And I'm not going to judge Højlund yet until I've seen him play, but they reckon he's going to be back for at least a bench against Forest. I'm excited about seeing that, bro. Nketiah is 24 and still plays like a novice at times. I prefer Balogun, and he is built like a striker, unlike the diminutive. Eddie, Arsenal fan. Oh, sorry, you're an Arsenal fan, not a Newcastle fan.
Oh, he's an Arsenal fan.
Okay. I watched Lee's reaction last night. He gave out about the way Arsenal play. Yet he always said, I don't care if we play crap as long as we win. We'll come back to that because we're talking Arsenal next. I want to get through these other super chats. Pep not being there for the next couple of games with City, or do you guys think, do you think it can damage them, him not being there in the ground?
Nope.
It depends who they're playing. Like,
they're the only elite club in the league. They'll win it anyway. Even if they lose the next two games, they win the title.
Toney arguably fits our system best out of everyone's. That's coming from Cal, who's a Spurs fan. Yeah, Spurs are heavily linked with him as well today. I think he'd do well at Spurs. Only Paul Liverpool are doing is their pants to their ankles, is what Brent says here. Did you guys see the Inter Miami game? I saw the goals. I haven't seen the games, to be fair with you.
Leo.
I'm not staying up at 3 a.m. to watch that, mate, but I did see his goal.
Tuffin here says...
That's the first ever trophy as well, by the way.
I know. He says
the GOAT is real, mate.
True.
The GOAT right there, not some guy
the most decorated footballer in football history.
Lionel Andres Messi, the GOAT, man.
Good, isn't he? At least the second best guy played for my club, unlike you two. Nowhere near Liverpool. Arteta coming up to 5 years. Ten Hag front door is about to be hanging off its hinges. The fraud squad is on its way. Keep Klopp out of your mouths. That's obviously a Liverpool fan snapping back at us. But I did want to ask you, Lee, about Arsenal last night. You know, 2 wins from 2, 100% record. You know, referees trying to cheat you. Brilliant start to the season points-wise, and a lot of you thought you wouldn't start off well. Surely, you know, there's a lot of anger last night, though, from fans moaning about the performance, even though you won again and were the better team by a country mile. What did you make of the game last night?
Just to come back to that super chat, it's not sustainable, mate. Yeah, that one that he said about, he moans about, but he said he don't care if as long as you get the win, that one. Yeah, and this is the thing. It is not sustainable. When you're trying to shoehorn one player into the team to the detriment of the playing style and shoehorning other players into positions that are not natural for them, it's not sustainable, mate. It really ain't. And on another night, we don't get that penalty because Thomas Partey may have infringed the defender. On another night, yeah, we see it Tottenham-Brentford. Yeah, the Eze penalty ends up being a penalty. Yeah, on another night, yeah, Tomiyasu stays on the pitch. Like, people can sit and cry about referees all they like. I don't tend to moan about refs, but that ref was awful. Yeah, he was awful. And the thing that wound me up the most about that ref was Tomiyasu didn't really touch him. He literally just like that, and he was on the deck. 40 seconds later, Kai Havertz is ripping the same geezer's shirt off and didn't even book him. And it's like, how are you not booking him for that, but you're booking a second yellow for that? Yeah, and I always think it like VAR is a joke anyway. We all know that. Yeah, but I do think that you should be able to VAR a yellow card. Like, what's the purpose of it being there if you can't VAR basically wrong decisions? Oh yeah, I think you got that one wrong there, mate. Yeah, well, you can do it for every other scenario apart from a yellow card. Make that make sense.
And corners, which is weird. Like, how many goals come from corners and you can't check them quickly? I get you on that, but I want to go back to what you said about it being unsustainable.
Yeah.
I understand if you perform like this for 38 games, you're not winning the league because you won't be able to get the win all the time. But we know you're going to get... Why don't you think you're going to get any better than this? Because... For me, the vast majority of last season, you were excellent. Yes, you haven't started the season in scintillating form, but why don't you believe you're going to get better when Jesus returns, when Zinchenko's back in, when players have settled? You know at some point, Gabriel's going to come back into defense. Ben White will go back to right back.
Is he though?
Why would they not? Why would they not? Why are you not going to get better than this?
Why would you drop one of the best centre-back pairings? Yeah. And listen, everyone knows I say he's got the bozo gene, but I've also sat on here many, many times and said since Christmas, he's been our best defender. Why are you dropping him for the first 2 games of the season? To incorporate Ben White in at centre-back, who, by the way, in his first season at Arsenal was awful at centre-back. I don't care what anyone tells me. He weren't that bad. Yes, he was. Right, at right back, he was one of the best right backs in the league last season. He was up there with Trippier for sure. Yeah, and if we hadn't have fallen off a cliff at the end, I probably would have said he was the best right back.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. We'll go back to it. Could you give me some positive reasons as to why maybe Gabriel hasn't started the first 2 games of the season without trying to find a negative reason?
There is no positives.
Well, so you're telling me that? So you're telling me there's no possibility that maybe, just maybe, he's had a knock and his fitness ain't ready to start games yet?
Or maybe he's linked to Saudi Arabia and maybe we're doing a deal with Saudi. Maybe. That's the only thing. So maybe the player has said, I want to go. So again, you can't blame Arteta for that. No. Hold on. Let's just stop because I don't want to go down this route of shouting in here. But at the end of the day, that is one of the best centre-back pairings in the league. I think we can all agree on that, yeah? Right? When they play together, they're quality. And if one's having a bad game, the other one's having a good game. It's very rare they both have a bad game at the same time. Very rare. And we've seen that all of last season, right? So why drop that? Why drop that pairing? The only thing I can think of that is dropping that pairing is to shoehorn Kai Havertz into the team, right? Which he's doing. And that means that we're going to then put Thomas Partey at right back, Ben White at centre back, Saliba at left centre back. It's mind-blowing because you're taking one player out of the team that's been part of one of the best centre-back pairings in the league. There's no other explanation for it other than you're trying to get Kai Havertz in the team, or maybe we're doing a deal to Saudi. Yeah.
Hang on. So why can't the explanation be, when you say there's no other explanation, that isn't true. That isn't true. So I'll give you at least 2 top of my head. Maybe Husam's got others. Maybe he's had a knock and isn't fully match fit yet. Hang on. You didn't listen to what I just said. Not fit enough to start yet.
Stop right there. Stop. Please stop. Let me just say one thing. If you're fit enough to come off the bench, you're fit enough to start the game.
No, that's not true. Hang on. But do you want to know why I know? Do you want to know why I know that's not true? Because again, some of the greatest managers that we've ever witnessed have done that by putting players that are not quite ready to start yet, but he's on the bench. We've seen Fergie do it. We've seen Pep do it. So to say, my point to you is to say there's no other explanation than he's shoehorning Kai Havertz in is not true. You want that to be the reason so you can be angry. You're not looking. What you never do, Lee, when it comes to Arsenal, when it's weird, is you never look for what could be the actual reason. Maybe part of the reason is something you complained about last year. There was no plan B. Maybe he's looked at these 2 games and gone, I think even with some changes, I think we can beat these teams. So I want to make a few changes to try a few other little systems out on maneuvers because we think we're
supposed to be doing that in pre-season.
Hang on. Let me just finish. Pre-season's only half. They're not real games. You can try things in pre-season. Maybe he looks at it like, by the way, I've seen Pep and Fergie and Wenger and Klopp in their pomp do, where they make changes against teams that they know they should be beating. And Liverpool are a great example of this. Liverpool's best team under Klopp, we could all name the starting 11. We could all name the players that were in that team. But I remember reading the stat, and it was just after they won their league title, that in the previous 60 matches, that team had only started about 11 games together, which means there was always rotation or different players coming in, and you've won your 2 games. I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned with the performance levels and wanting them to get better. But what I find really intriguing is how the reasons for the poor performances is always going to these weird conspiracy theories and negativities. Because you don't know the reason, but you're saying it can only be shoehorn Kai Havertz.
If he's in the squad, he is fit enough to play. He came on and played. If he's in the squad, he's fit enough.
That isn't true.
Because he came on and played.
Rasmus Højlund is likely to be in the squad against Nottingham Forest at the weekend. He's likely to only be able to get up to 30 to 35 minutes as he's building his fitness up. But you want to bring him on in the game to slowly build that fitness up. Otherwise, his first game is going to be a full 90 minutes. No. And when your manager before has rushed people back in to start games after they've had knocks and injuries, you've moaned that he's rushed them back into.
Now he hasn't had an injury, mate.
Well, we don't know, but you don't know. This is the point. No, you don't know. This is the point I'm making. You don't know why he's dropped him, but you are making an assumption that the only reason is to shoehorn in Kai Havertz. It could be a multitude of reasons, but you only look for the negative ones, Lee.
No,
time.
Terry, just slow down 1 second, yeah? Right, and there's somebody in this chat earlier said it's 2 games, 2 wins, be happy. Yeah, you're probably the same idiot last season that said we're just top, be happy, mate. Yeah, or we're just 4th, be happy, and finish 5th. Yeah, and this is the problem I have with these people, yeah? Right? Terry, you're trying to spin it as I'm taking a negative. Terry, we have not played well for 2 games. We have put out an 11 that is nowhere near going to win a title. And yes, it is only 2 games, right? But let's just do some stripping back here a minute, yeah? We can all sit here right now and name our best 11, Arsenal's best 11. If everyone's fit, we can pretty much get 9 or 10 out of 11 spot on all 3 of us, right? So if we can all see that, why can't he? Because our best 11 doesn't incorporate Kai Havertz.
Lee, can I ask you a question? What if Gabriel has been shocking in training?
And he shouldn't be in the squad then, should he?
Okay, so he's on the bench though.
Injured, and he hasn't been shocking in training, so he's in the squad.
Is this ever happened in football before, where players have been bad in training, therefore they're not starting in games?
Yeah, of course it has, Terry. But
so again, you've just given another reason. No, I'm not reaching. I'm giving you an example. You said the only reason he's being dropped is to accommodate Kai Havertz, but you just admitted it could be something else. It could be something else.
No,
why can't it be something else? Why can't it be something else?
It can be something else, Terry. But ultimately,
and stop saying it's only one reason.
Die on the Kai Havertz hill around Christmas time.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Look, I'm not even saying.
I'm not going to keep shouting over you. At the end of the day, them 2 performances that we've had so far have not been great. They have not been great. Yes, we can get better. But the reason we will not win anything and the reason we will not get ultimately so great that we can challenge again is because this manager is out of his depth. He's trying to shoehorn players into that team, yeah, because he wants to die on that hill because Kai Havertz is Arsenal's 3rd highest ever signing. Declan Rice, Nicola Pepe, and then him. He's undroppable. He's undroppable because
nonsense.
Really? Well, we've played 3 games this season. Community Shield, he played the whole game. The last game, I think he played pretty much the whole game. Maybe he didn't. I don't know, but I'm sure he stayed on for the whole game. And last night, 97 minutes.
And you won all 3. And you won all 3.
Well, we drew 1 and 1.
Yeah, but you won the game. You won on penalty. You won the game.
Well, the game ended a draw, Terry.
So he has a 100% win ratio. All you've ever said on the terrace is football's about winning.
Yep.
You're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth.
Honestly, from the heart of hearts, Terry, are Arsenal winning the title this season?
Listen, I think they've got a good chance to. I think Arsenal got a very good chance to. I'm not denying that you've got to improve your performances. All I've asked you is the question, and someone in the comments says Terry's just making up scenarios in his head. Yes, so's Lee. So's Lee.
Well, really,
so you.
Really.
No, you are.
There is no good reason to drop Gabriel.
But there could be a good reason. What if he's not performing in training? So you believe? So based on what you're saying is, if he's not performing in training and he's got a knock, he should start games. Is that what you're saying?
We shouldn't be in the squad then, because he was fit enough to come off the bench last night.
Hang on, Lee, but football's not that black and white. Because maybe the knock's gone.
It's not a simple game confused by idiots.
Stop. Maybe he hasn't got the knock now, but he's trying to build his fitness up. So if a player's building their fitness up until they're 100% fit, which they won't get without playing games, they shouldn't be back in the squad. That means once a player's out, hang on, let me finish my point. So what you're saying is, if a player's not 100% fit, he shouldn't be in the squad. That means a player will never be 100% fit because it means he'll never play a fucking game. Terry, that makes sense, Lee. It doesn't make sense. You're just being negative for no reason. You're lying.
Why are you trying to spin this I'm negative narrative? You're such a joker, I swear.
No, you are. You are.
Give me a positive. Give me a positive. So what should I be positive about? Tell me what I should be positive about. I've watched my team win 2 games.
Can I tell you what you should be positive about?
Go on, Sam.
Someone needs to land the minerals in this show. I think Arsenal Football Club are winning the league this season. And I genuinely believe it. And the first 2 games has actually been a massive indication of that. Because when we won the league in 1920, we were nicknamed 2-1 FC. Winning games in a shit manner is actually better than winning games 4-0. And I'll explain it to you. I think winning games 1-0 and 2-1, the way that they did against Forest, the way that they did against Palace, which is surviving a 10-minute, 15-minute period of pressure towards the end and getting those 3 points, I think that builds even stronger momentum than winning 4-0 or 5-0. So for me, Arsenal playing this badly and having 6 points on the board is the exact proof that Arsenal are going to win the league this season. And I think they're ready. The only way I see Arsenal not winning the league this season, because context matters. You know, I do context around here. Context matters. If they get like hella injuries and blah, 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 fair enough. Now, the Gabriel situation, I hear what he's saying about Havertz. Maybe he is trying to shoehorn Havertz into the team. But the one thing that disproves your point, in my opinion, is Tomiyasu. Because I think you could get rid of Tomiyasu, put Gabriel in, and you could play Ben White on the right. So you could switch it in a different way, play 3 at the back. So I think for me, I see Arsenal winning the league, I'm going to be honest with you. And I think the first 2 games are absolute proof of it. The fact that Jesus ain't there, Nketiah is there, you're winning you're winning games by fighting and struggling. That's the sign of champions, right there.
Sam, sorry, mate, you're waffling. Yeah, we did this last season. 97th minute winner against Bournemouth. Yeah, we did this last season. Last minute winner for Eddie Nketiah against Man United. Yeah, we were getting over the line in certain games, doing it the tough way without playing great. Yeah, we were top of the league for 93% of the season, right? Going into this season, all I've been told through pre-season is, oh, but he's experimenting. He's experimenting. Okay, cool. Well, the experiment's got 6 points on the ball. Fantastic. Yeah, but let me tell you right now, yeah, we are not winning the league. Man City are winning the league. Yeah, they're the only team in the league that are serious. They're the only team in the league that actually have a set style of play, and you know exactly what they're going to do. Yeah, and they're going to do it better than anyone. So
if Arsenal win the league, I want a video apology from you. Video 100%. Apology.
Wait, I hope he does
I want you to apologize to me publicly on video. If Arsenal win the league.
I'm not deluding myself. Yeah, I hope he does win the league. But his in-game management, his substitutions, his starting 11s, and his man management of players is a disgrace. Nicola Pepe has just come back into that squad. Where has he been? He's been training on his own outside of London Colney. Why? Why is Kieran Tierney not in the squad? Okay, cool. Maybe he's getting a move somewhere. Wait, maybe he's getting a move somewhere. Wait, is that a reason to not put you in a squad? Yeah, then when you look at it deep this, we go and buy a brand new goalkeeper that's better than the current goalkeeper, and he bottled it. Should have started him. But he won't. Yeah, he won't. No, let me finish, Terry, yeah? Right, let me finish.
Oh, you don't know all of these things.
We get rid of a goalkeeper. No, let me just say, we get rid of a goalkeeper and replace him with a goalkeeper. Cool. It's a big upgrade, yes. We get rid of Granit Xhaka and replace him with Declan Rice. So that's 2 out, 2 in. Right? 2 out, 2 in. Yeah. You could argue Granit Xhaka is better than Rice and vice versa. I couldn't care less. Yeah. You could argue, Rice is better than Tina Turner. Yeah. But either way, right? Then we go and sign Yuri Timber. He's now out for the season pretty much. The only squad depth in terms of actual extra body is Kai Havertz. And people are going on like we're going to win the league. Did you see our bench? Then you've got our best. Then our best player, Trossard, can't even get a game. Why? He scored the equaliser against Man City.
Trossard is now your best player.
Hang on, I need to just say this again, Lee. Again, I understand some of your
fans. I tried, didn't I? tried.
The thing is, I understand some of your concerns, and this is where these arguments become really difficult. Is I'm not saying the elements of what you're suggesting may not turn out to be right, but you are just looking at everything from a we're crap, nothing else about this can be positive. What you're not doing is you're not open to.
I actually sat on my watch and gave positives.
But hang on, but I'm talking about our conversation, so I can only, with respect, I didn't watch the whole watch along, right? So I didn't know every word you've said. I'm just saying to you, you're looking at every scenario through the lens of it's going to go wrong, it's going to go terrible, and you're not even. It doesn't even feel like. So let me change it so you're not. I'll make it less of a full stop statement. It's like you're not even willing to consider that there may be a positive reason, not being injured ain't a positive reason, but a reason that it isn't as negative as you think it is behind your manager's current decisions. Equally, you are right. There was a few other games last season that you struggled in, and then you got over the line, and you didn't go on to win the league. But to suggest that your young players are not going to be better this season, to suggest that having Rice in your team isn't going to elevate you to another level. Saliba, I think, will be even better this year. I look at Raya as the example you gave about Raya. Why didn't he play straight away? And I know you don't like this because your default reaction to what I'm about to say will be, how can you compare Arteta to Pep or to Klopp? But the reason I do the comparison, that's not facts. The reason I do the comparisons is I would much rather see my manager having behaviors and actions that the elite world-class managers do. The same as if you've bought a striker and you hear that he's following the same diet and sleeping patterns and behaviors of Lionel Messi, you're much happier with that than hearing that he's got the same dietary issues as Luke Shaw.
You're comparing him to Pep, yeah?
No, I'm not comparing him to Pep.
He's been Joe Hart, England's number one, mate.
Lee, stop. I'm not comparing him. Listen to what I'm actually saying. Would you answer this question for me? Would you rather your young striker follow Messi's diets and training regimes or Lukaku's diet and training regimes?
I couldn't care less, because I don't know their diets.
You know for a fact you'd rather him follow Messi's plan. So
I couldn't care less. I don't know what Messi eats for breakfast.
You know for a fact, right? The point I'm going to say to you is this. Is that just because he hasn't played Raya, game week 1, there's multiple examples of world-class managers not playing their brand new signing straight away. That doesn't mean they bottled it. Klopp didn't bottle it. No. I've picked up multiple elite. Stop. I've picked up multiple things that you've said about Gabriel as an example. I've picked up stuff about Raya. I've picked up multiple things you've said. My point is you always go to the default negativity. So not playing Raya straight away.
Hang on, 3-year window that I've seen this manager bottle everything.
Stop, mate. I'm talking. Turn around. You say my manager bottled it because he didn't play Raya straight away. However, multiple managers don't play new signings straight away. I don't see you out here calling them all bottle jobs. Or is your belief this, that every manager who doesn't start his new signing in the first game is a bottle job? Is that your belief?
A different narrative.
No, that's what you said. So I want to get an answer. Is that bottling it? Did Pep bottle it? Did Pep and Klopp bottle it when their new signings don't start straight away? Is that a bottle job?
Hold on. Yeah, if you want to talk about Pep Guardiola, mate, he walked into Man City and been England's number 1 immediately. Yeah, immediately. Yeah, so if we're talking goalkeepers here, so we're going to go with
my question, Lee. Answer the question. If
he walks into Man City and did Joe Hart immediately, so that is irrelevant.
No, you're not answering my question.
Because you're trying to get no.
I'm not. I'm trying to understand your logic.
The logic is I couldn't care less, Lee,
you do care.
On a 20-year
you know, nonsense. That's nonsense. You're having a go. No, Lee. You're having a go at your manager's behaviours and his actions as a manager. So you think
not 3.5 year sample size, mate.
Lee, just wait a second. I'm trying to understand an answer to the question. Do you think manager?
Conversation to belittle
no, I want to understand you, Lee, and you won't answer the question.
If you let me talk for more than 5 seconds,
I want you to talk. I want you to answer the question. The question is, do you think managers are bottle jobs if they don't start their new signing straight away? Yes or no?
It depends on the scenario. There's context to every situation. You love a bit of context.
Why won't you give that scenario to your manager?
Again, I can't.
Why don't you give that scenario to your manager?
Terry, the goalkeeper situation is the least of the problems, mate. I only mentioned.
Then why are you moaning about it?
I weren't.
You didn't. You said you bottled it. You're playing Raya.
I said, if everybody's fit, everyone knows Arsenal's best 11. I said, and Raya goes in goal, and he bottled it last night by not putting him in goal. That's not me moaning about it. That is me making a statement. That is not moaning. If you want to take it as moaning, that's up to you, mate. Yeah, the facts and reality is, Terry, the facts and reality is here, yeah? Right, this manager has been here 4 years in December, 4 full calendar years, right? Since he's gone away from doing the basics, the actual basics, which won us an FA Cup, which, by the way, the left back that nobody likes anymore played and started that game. Yeah. Nicola Pepe that nobody likes anymore was absolutely insane in the semi and the final. Yeah. But now nobody likes them 2 players. Since he's gone away from doing the basics, playing players in their right positions without all of this funky hipster crap, he's actually won nothing. So, excuse me if I'm not happy with Thomas Partey at right back, and I'm not happy with Ben White at centre back, and I'm not happy with Kai Havertz in my team. Yeah, fact is, we ain't winning shit this season. And if people want to cry about it, cool. Come back to me at the end of the season and apologise, because that'll be 4 full seasons he's won nothing. Yeah, how long does this go on until actually everyone wakes up? So if you want to try and shoehorn me down a road about crying about a goalkeeper, cool, do it. I couldn't care less. I will play the villain all day long. I am the villain. And guess what? First I was a rat, then I was in the mud, then I'm a flip-flop. This season, you're right.
Yeah? Do you know what it is? You know what I'm going to say, Lee? It's not about trying to drill you down. You make statements. No, it's not. It's not, Lee. You turn it into that because you make a statement, and all I'm trying to ascertain is your belief around those scenarios and whether or not you apply that logic across football in general or whether it's specific to a certain situation. But before I can even finish my question, you interject and say stuff. And me and you are both the same in this way. We then just start going over each other. And all I wanted to understand is why you would call your manager a bottle job. Again, maybe Raya isn't up to speed yet with the way you guys want to play. There could be a positive, genuine reason why that decision hasn't been made yet. And I think after 2 games, I understand the past. But I think 2 games into this season to be ranting when you're 6 out of 6 points is mad. I want to go to some of these super chats.
Well done. We hang on. August champions, September champions, October champions, November, December champions, January champions, February champions, March champions. Oh, look, we didn't win nothing. Just be happy. Just be happy. We're top of the league. Shut up. Just be happy. Just be happy. Oh, what a great transfer window the summer one was last season. And I rated it a 4. Oh, you're negative. I said the squad ain't good enough. Then come Christmas time, oh, we got a thin squad.
Yeah.
Hello.
But hang on a minute. But it was better. It was a better squad than you said. What you said you would achieve.
Whoopie-doo, I got a prediction wrong. And what? We still didn't win anything.
Cool.
Which, by the way, he has put us on our longest trophy drought for a decade. This is the longest we've gone without a trophy for 10 years, mate.
Yeah, and mate, and he can't change that in the first 2 games of this season. Well, in fairness, he won the Community Shield, but we won't count that. But he can't change that in the first 2 games of the season. So hold back on the anger for a week, bruv, at least.
I wasn't angry. You got me angry. I was cool. I was just explaining what I was saying.
This super chat here says, any real fan would enjoy the win. We can't even be happy about it. Fake fan. Gabriel only off because we only have a party to go into the midfield. Soon as Zinchenko is back, we will go back. Simple. Thanks for schooling this idiot again, Terry. Thanks for the content, Terry. Fellow kickboxer. Thanks, bro.
Fake fan. I know more about my club than you. Like, honestly, mate. Yeah. If I had £1 for every single time somebody says you're a fake fan, you're an undercover Spurs fan, you're negative, you're toxic, you want us to fail, and blah, 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 I would have a yacht in Port Banús the size of the whole of wherever you live, the whole of the village you live in, Hogwarts. Yeah? At the end of the day, it's not fake wanting your team to win. It's not fake calling out crap. It's not fake sticking facts after facts after facts. Longest trophy drought for a decade. Yeah? 700 million deep nearly. 650, 620, whatever it is. When am I allowed to actually say, start doing stuff, start actually doing it without idiots telling me I'm fake? Yeah, because I'll tell you something now, yeah? All these people that want to chat crap to me and have chat crap to me for the last 3.5, 4 years that this manager's been here, yeah? You're all living in cuckoo land, mate, and it's all on hope he comes good when there is actually no factual evidence to suggest he will. He bottled top 4, he bottled a title. So my sample size is quite good, mate. It's not just going off of 2 games. It's going off for 4 years nearly. Yeah. This season, win or you're out. Yeah. And I'll tell you now, as much as he can put his money in, and good luck to him. Well done. Well done. Fantastic. Fake fan. This guy's an idiot. Cool. Whatever. Let me tell you now, our best season in terms of league finish for 7 years, and 30,000 people walked out 2-0 down against Brighton, mate. That told me everything I need to know. They're all faking it. Yeah. After stadium cleared out. Yeah. Didn't want to back your manager that day. No. Didn't want to back your team that day. I'll just back the team. We're top. Get in the bin, man. These people are absolutely weird, mate. Yeah, the fact is, it's about winning trophies. And this guy has failed to do it for 3 full seasons. He's got rid of nearly everybody that won him a trophy, gone down this inverted I think I'm Pep route, and won nothing. 600 million later. Do me a favour. If that makes me negative, cool. I'll be negative all season. Yeah, because I'll tell you now, if he don't win anything, I'm on him every single week.
What if he wins the league? Then what will you say? If he wins the league, what will you say?
If he wins the league, I'll sit on this show and I'll say, fair play. I didn't expect that to happen. Well done. I got it wrong. But bro, let's not all kid ourselves here. He ain't winning the league.
I really do believe he will, by the way. I'm not even making that up. I genuinely believe it. We'll see.
You used to call Gabriel a bozo. He's the best centre-back pairing now. Stop writing off people early without context for your agenda and see things in context.
Here's some context for you, Akash, mate, yeah? So maybe go back and watch every single Straight Fact show since Christmas or from January. I've said he's been our best centre-back and our best actual defender on this show every single Tuesday at R3. Every single week, I've said he's been our best defender since January. So if you want some context, mate, go and watch all them shows, innit? Yeah, instead of taking me saying one little thing and you getting in your feelings, innit?
What hatred is there? The guy scored 22 goals in a Farmers League. 7 of them were penalties. He is a good player, but what's the chat about higher ceiling?
Penalties don't count. Jesus Christ. Like, what is this, man?
I agree with that.
The penalties not count.
Yeah. No, they definitely do.
Well, so what's the issue then? Why mention penalties then? He still put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah. If we won on penalties against Man City and this fan base were doing line dances down Wembley Way. Come on.
Arsenal did not need to be defensive in those 2 games, and Gabriel is not good at building up play. There goes another reason for benching him, is what Enigma thinks.
Because he's a centre-back, mate. Exactly. He's a centre-back. He's not good at building up play. Get the ball from the keeper, give it to somebody technically more gifted. It is not rocket science. Why do people confuse an easy game and make it difficult?
Mikel rotating players in preparation for the Champions League, experimenting with lineups. Now is the correct time. If not now, then when could he possibly do it?
Pre-season, when we did 8 games in pre-season or whatever it is, which is where I thought we were supposed to be doing it. Yeah, like
he did experiment in pre-season. To be fair, he tried different things.
Well, he never played Thomas Partey at right back and Gabriel on the bench. Like,
I hear you, but I think you could do that.
He's waiting for the Champions League in preparation. There's always an excuse, man. At the end of the day, waiting for the Champions League to do what? Is anyone actually genuinely believe we're actually going to win it?
You could.
But then the excuse would be, it was the first season back in it. And what? Jose won it first season in it. Yeah? Go and get a proper manager.
Lee, if you were on the Inter Milan side this season, you probably reach the final. So it depends on the draw as well.
No, it does depend on the draw, but let's not be dumb here, yeah. And I'm not saying you're dumb, but what I'm saying is this guy's European record. No, I'm genuinely not. This guy's European record lost to Olympiacos, lost to our former manager with Villarreal coming to beat us, yeah, and then losing to Sporting Lisbon, and then people think we're going to go and beat Inter Milan and Benfica and Porto, Real Madrid and Barca and do me a favour. I swear, the fantasies and Disney world that these people live in is insane. Yeah,
I'm not selling them dreams. I genuinely believe Arsenal are going to win the league.
For failure.
I've no reason to lie. I really think Arsenal are going to win the league. By the way, I said this before, even on the previous straight backs when Terry asked me to predict. Did I not say Arsenal first?
No, he did. He's not even trolling.
No, I know. I watched it. I know you think Arsenal will win it, but that's because you hate Man City.
This says City changed their system and people questioned it due to how bad they play, but it works in the end. Great teams win when they aren't on form.
Well, great teams win trophies when they do what is required. So Man City can change their formation, they can change their tactics, they can change the player personnel. The fact and reality is that manager knows what he's doing. This one don't. And we can keep comparing to Man City. They want a treble with 4 centre-backs in defence.
Is this a fair point?
Pep has won nothing for 3 years.
Is this a fair point that says, I love you, mate, but last season we complained about no rotation and being predictable. Now it's our door at the door, and we don't like to conserve energy. Now peak later. In my opinion, it's more to accommodate missing Zinchenko than anything else.
Well, if that's what. No, I understand that comment. Yeah. I do understand that comment. But the fact is, maybe just play players in their right positions instead of playing a DM, one of the best in the league, at right back.
This here says, is it really that much of a surprise that Lee can't counter logic? Too much waffle about, to be honest with you, just admit you don't know why he is benched.
Too much waffle. 20 years without a title, 29 without a European trophy, and the longest trophy drought for a decade. How about that for waffle, mate?
Terry Check from Fabrizio just tweeted that we're not in for Johnson. Okay, fair enough. I saw another one there. So they're out. Listen, Chelsea shouldn't be buying Brennan Johnson. Lee, I understand Arteta is dropping him as he's going to be massive for us in the Champions League. Remember, he played all the games last season and more games to come. I do think that's why there should be I understand the concern, but a level of decorum and a level of wait and see instead of being so angry, because
I wasn't angry. It triggered me.
Well, no, but Arsenal fans are angry after your performances last couple of nights. You are. You guys are.
Well, at the end of the day, right, when it comes to centre-backs here, right, yes, you can get through a couple of games. If we play Man United and drop Gabriel, we're in trouble.
No, you're
Right?
not.
You've been poor, and you've been very poor. You've been shocking, in fact, yeah?
You're not.
If we don't have Gabriel and Saliba at centre-back, we're in trouble, yeah?
Lee,
We're in
you could
trouble.
rotate half your
What
team
you
and
want?
you'd still beat United. Be
Right.
real, man.
But the thing is, that Lee, if by the next game or the Man United game, Gabriel's back in and Partey's back in the middle, that's what I'm saying. All this frustration with why are we doing this would be for nothing. And I'm just saying sometimes, and I understand you've got a catalogue of like seasons and stresses and worries, but sometimes I just think you're winning your games, you're getting the results. There doesn't need to be the frustration. That's all I was trying to say. We have got a lot of super chats to get through. I want to try and get through. This one says Husam the GOAT from Mark. Lee has a point. The media on Ten Hag and not Arteta. Well, that's just because Man United. So we sell more papers. Roman here says Arsenal fans just do not understand where Lee is coming from. His standards for this club are very high. He demands the best for his club. He has seen his club win over and over. I think he's speaking facts, is what Roman says.
Abramovich, come and buy my club, mate. We might be elite.
Alex Ferguson didn't win for his first 5 years at United. Yes. Best £199 ever spent winding up Lee.
Mate, can I just say as well, coming back to that previous one about Fergie, yeah, like Arsenal fans love to do this. Compare us to Man City. Oh, but Fergie didn't do this. Does anyone genuinely believe this manager is going to end up with the careers of both of their managers, Pep and Fergie?
I don't think it's that though. But like I said earlier,
no, they're looking for
patience is important. Patience is important, though. You've got to give the guy time.
It's patience, but I also think it's a case of. I asked you this question earlier, and I know you don't want to answer it, but if it's like a role model. So if my son wants to become a boxer and he's following training regimes and diets and behaviors that young fighters who become world champions were doing, I'm going to be far more encouraged by that. That doesn't mean I think my son's Muhammad Ali or Floyd Mayweather, but I'd much rather them follow the practices of tried and tested winners. That makes more sense, right? To do things that winners have done. Does that not make more sense than ignoring what winners have done and copying or doing things that are untested and unproven? Surely.
Well, this manager's copying Pep, so what's your point?
But my point is, no. So there isn't a point. It's a question. It's not a point. Would you not rather your manager?
I would just rather us win by hook or by crook, Terry. I couldn't care less whether it's following
Lee, but on this show, you're proving you don't want to win by hook or by crook. Because if you're not winning in the way you want to win games, you say it's unsustainable.
Games that lead to nothing because they're irrelevant. Like
but you don't know if these wins are irrelevant yet until the end of the season.
We could go back to the exact same week last year, yeah, and you said exactly the same. You don't know if they're irrelevant. Well, I do because I've got a sample size that's big enough.
But you don't know. So you know who's winning the league this year, 100%.
Man City, 100%. I'll bet you right now. I'll bet you.
So you don't, right now, Man City I think they'll win the league.
You just asked me.
No. My question to you is this: if you believe 100%, bet me your YouTube channel that they'll do it. You have to give me your YouTube channel if they don't, and your house, all your YouTube channels, all your houses,
as well.
and every bit of income you earn for the next 10 years, you have to give to me. You're 100% sure City are winning the league.
City are winning the title, Terry. I ain't going to
bet me everything you own. Bet me everything you own.
This is what you do. You dramatize it.
No, because it's not 100%.
200 quid for a charity bet. 200 quid charity, your choice or my choice. Whoever wins. Yeah, 200 quid, Man City win the league.
I believe you. I believe City are winning it, but you're not listening to me. You said 100% guarantee. You know, you don't.
Yeah, 100% guarantee. Do you know why? Because they're the only elite club in this league. They're the only
don't
ones.
Know that.
Yes, I do.
Let me get through. Let me get through these. Bro. Let me get through these super chats. There's so many of them. I don't want to disrespect the viewers here. This here says Arsenal fan said Rice is the best DM in the world. After yesterday's game, does Lee agree? And is Rice better defensively than Rodri and Tchouaméni? We can't spend an hour on each of these. We need to try and get through these. But yeah, you disagree. He disagrees.
Well, that's reason 1 billion and 5 for Arsenal to win the league. Then we've got the best DM in the world.
Okay. Big up the panel. Watch all three. Lee, thoughts on Pepe? Terry, would you keep? I'd keep Palestri. We've already answered the other one. Do you think Pepe should be in back in your team?
Yep. In the squad, we need a right wing cover.
They have conceded 1 goal in 2, hardly allowed a sniff yesterday, and we're talking about our defending. Make it make sense, is what Kevin Lee says.
Edouard missed an absolute sitter from 7 yards out, mate. Open goal. Nobody near him. Where was the defence then? What about when the penalty could have been given that didn't get given? On another day it does. Yeah.
Last year, we said Arteta was too predictable with his squad. This season, he's too unpredictable. He's confusing himself, is what Johnny says here.
It's not mad. They come up with everything, Terry. Oh, last year we said too predictable. Which super fan said that on a fan cam? I guarantee somebody on that channel has said last year we were too predictable, and this year we're being less predictable, and now people are moaning, and now they all mimic it.
I know. Yeah, I've got to try and get through them because there's loads and we're running out of time. Lee Havertz won't be a scorer for us. He won 8 out of 9 duels. He also very intelligent off the ball, where we spend 90% of our time. Don't you think that's significant in football? Also, he's also a unit.
Move on, Tel.
Lee is on video saying he will never back Arteta because he's never rolled down his window to sign his autograph. It's simple.
Yeah, send it.
Lee would rather see the manager foul than the club win, so he can say, "I told you so."
It sounds like the Northside show last night. Yeah. You
You
want to see the manager fail?
Last season, I super chatted the lack of sustainability to both of you. 3 points is all that matters now, but lack of sustainable football will lead to yet another collapse. We need to step up ASAP. I hear you want to step up. We agree with that. Grinding out wins is the business end of the season, is what champions are made of, Husam, not limping over the line in the first 2 games.
Fact.
First 2 games, you build up fitness, you get your results, you get your 3 points, and that's what matters. Players aren't even 100% fit like that right now.
If the Gunners bottle the league, I want 442s to sing 7 bottles song with Lee Gunner. That'd be funny. Lee doesn't want us to win. He wants us to lose. So Sam, would you like me to send some popcorn?
Yeah, I just let them argue now. I was just sitting, watching, enjoying the show, just like you guys.
Lee doesn't want us to win. Okay, mate. Good one.
Terry, ask Lee a yes or no question. Less response. We smashed the stadium down to compete with Bayern and Madrid. He's class, is what he says there.
Oh, when they do it, I'll shut up. Until then, I ain't shutting up.
The terrorists are cooking the drive TalkSport numbers. Of course we are. We're better than TalkSport.
Come on. That's the Liam effect.
Imagine brands gave us the budgets they give these big companies, the content we could make. Imagine we had their budgets, their millions of pounds a month budgets. This guy, Lee, is not a clown. He is an entire circus, is what Akash says here.
Come on, mate.
Mr. Tybox dropped his soap for AFTV's Julian, is what he said there.
Wow.
Lee is our longest trophy drought was under Wenger from 06 until 2013. No trophies until the 2014 FA Cup.
Somebody who can't listen. I said the longest trophy drought for a decade. Yeah, so the last decade. Obviously, you don't listen. But thanks for
Lee, but this is what you're going to do, innit? When you do win a trophy, the start of the next season, you're going to say this is the longest trophy drought since our last trophy.
These are the same fans that can't count glorified soccer aid as a trophy.
Also, big up Northside for taking the vile comments yesterday. I didn't think anyone was vile to him. He was laughing, but I appreciate what you're saying. From trophy negative super fans on the chin. Lee is right. Finishing second is not an achievement. It's called trophyless. By the way, it's not 2 games in. It's 4 calendar years later. Let's have it right.
There's no way, Waves, you went with the let's have it right line. Like, there's no way you did that.
He did. Terry, you said Arsenal were winning for most of last season. They have made good signings, getting even stronger. Why are Arsenal not favourites now? So again, I predicted Arsenal coming 3rd at the beginning of the season. I started talking about the win in the league when we got into November, into December, when City weren't quite at their best and Arsenal were amazing. So that was after my mind changed. However, they went on to win the league, City. I think they're buying very good players this summer. And I just think they'll win the league this year. So my prediction at the beginning of last season was City to win the league. I haven't changed my mind on that. However, we could get to December and Liverpool could be 10 points clear at the top of the league. And my mind might change that they'll win the league. So yeah, that's why that happened, my friend, because things change. Brutal chat today. Someone give Lee a hug. He's getting a lot of love as well.
At the end of the day, this is why my club's been buried for nearly 2 decades, mate. Yeah, because there's millions of these fans out there that have got no standards whatsoever.
You should probably look for another sport to watch since you sound so hurt and angry. I understand you want your club to win, but this bickering. Lee, bro, no hate towards you. Just a question on your opinion. Doesn't mean you are wrong. People in the comments need to realize people's opinions. Yeah, listen, I think me and Lee, we get into Raz sometimes. I'm not even saying he's wrong. I'm just trying to dig deeper into the opinion. It's literally my job.
Lee was calm, by the way. You really did trigger him, Terry. You're the reason why he got triggered.
Me, I can't lie.
EPL winners grind out wins no matter how ugly. 3 points is all that matters. We would be a bonus if the football was eye candy as well. I'm sure you guys will get better. Oh, speaking of eye candy,
20 years was the last time.
Speaking of eye candy, though, I actually wanted to get onto this 20 minutes ago, but on Kai Havertz, this is what I heard someone say last night. Take a little listen.
Judged more harshly than the rest of them. He can't seem to get away with anything. In this team, for me, there's two players, which is Eddie, and I can see it's starting to happen to Havertz now. And in order to appreciate how good Havertz is, you have to have a deeper appreciation for the game. One of the things you've got to appreciate with football is that on average, a player is on the ball 3.33% of the time. He's off the ball for 96.67% of the game. You've got to look at actually the contribution of the ball, which is far more difficult to judge for an average football fan.
I don't know what's more concerning, the geezer in the shades or the geezer with the half and half scarf. That's modern football summed up right there. Yeah, and then when you listen to that absolute drip, and he is a drip, yeah, I can't stand that bloke. Yeah, he is so false in it, it's unbelievable. The guy chats absolute waffle, right? Kai Havertz has been shocking for the games he's played. Yeah, you can make up all these scenarios in your head. He's not a good footballer. That's it.
I don't think he's been shocking.
He won 8 out of 9 duels. And what? And what? How did he last 97 minutes? Cool. Die on that hill, my friend. They've all bigged him up. He was misunderstood at Chelsea. No, he's been there 3 years and scored 1 goal that's got any meaning to it.
Husam, like you said, he hasn't been horrendous. Like, expand on that for me.
I thought he played well against Forest, to be honest with you. I don't think he was horrendous at all. I think against City, he should have scored them chances 100%. I think City's been the worst game he's played out of the last 3. And yesterday, at the end of the day, he's playing in midfield. Winning duels is important when it comes to winning in midfield. Like winning 8 or 9 duels, meaning you got involved into 9 duels and you won 8 of them, which is good. Listen, Kai Havertz has not been bought by Arsenal to become a striker. It's crystal clear to see. When it comes to Kai Havertz, I think he's done well these first 2 games. And I'm someone who thought, actually, that Kai Havertz would fail at Arsenal. But I think these first 2 games, Forest specifically, I think he had a good game. I think he had a really good game against Forest, to be honest with you. Yeah, he was linking up play really well. I think he was the pass before the pass, if you would like. So that's why I'm giving...
Free-come assist. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool.
Do you know what it is? I saw this last night, right?
You're so mad, Lee. You're so mad. Your team had 6 points, Lee. Why are you mad for? You're on top of the league. Why are you angry, bro? Why are you angry? You're top of the league.
93% last season and won nothing again. This is the last time we were good.
Do you know what? Right. Again, I saw so much of this. I didn't really get involved in it last night. I saw some people talking about Kai Havertz, and you need to have a particular palette of football understanding to see how great he was. Equally, I saw people saying how bad he was. And for me, I thought he was good. And I'm not saying, again, he needs to get better. But genuinely, I've been shocked by how amazing he was. And I've been shocked by he's the worst player on the pitch. I think he was just good.
Played the clip of. You have to have a certain deeper understanding of football to understand what Kai Havertz brings. No, I've got eyes, mate. Yeah, how about that? Stop waffling.
I agree with you. What I would say is this: based on that logic, this is what Arsenal fans need to be careful of doing, especially if you debate me. Because if you start talking about off the ball work as being 97% more important than on the ball work, I don't want to hear any more slander towards Anthony's name, because off the ball, he's impeccable. On the ball, horrendous. But if we're suddenly going to start saying that but you know what I'm saying, Sam? He keeps the shape, he tracks back, he helps defend. And that's great. But if he isn't delivering from an attacking point of view, you have to criticize him. So this is
No,
why I
that
say
clip is horrendous. That clip is horrendous. Make no
no,
mistake.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm
What they
saying
do
to
off
Arsenal,
the ball is BS. Look, them doing it on the ball is what matters. But at the same time, winning defensive duels is as important as what you do on the ball.
it's important.
So that's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So there's a balance here. I'm not agreeing with what the guy says in the video, but I'm saying the first 2 Premier League games, I don't think Havertz has played badly. That's my honest opinion.
No, I hear you. I like people in the comments. Sorry, I'm just going to say, people in the comments are saying, allow it. Anthony's not been good. Again, you're not listening to what I'm saying. If you're going to start pushing a logic online,
you have to have a deeper understanding of football.
Yeah, that means you understand more football because of the off-the-ball work. You are then setting up a scenario where you can't banter Anthony anymore because people will throw back your words and tweets at you.
Exactly,
So be careful what you do. I keep telling you guys, learn.
This fan base, not all of them, but a large percentage of this fan base live in hope we come good. Hope Havertz becomes good. Hope Eddie scores goals. Hope this, hope that, hope. How about actually do it? Yeah, instead of hoping. Because we know 100% Pep is winning something this season. We know that's a fact. He will win a trophy this season, at least one. We know that Real Madrid, under Ancelotti this season, are going to win at least one trophy. And the reason we know this is because of the sample size that we've had with these managers. We've had a sample size with this manager, and it's the longest trophy drought for a decade. But now he's gone and signed Kai Havertz. Oh, yeah, he was misunderstood at Chelsea. No, he weren't. He was trash. Let's just be real with it. He was rubbish. Oh, but it's just off the ball work. Okay, well, we should have kept Xhaka then because he was better off the ball.
No, mate, listen, I agree with you on the off-the-ball stuff. It's crazy. $2,000 to Gosh. Oh, Great Ormond Street Hospital. We win the league. So what is it? £2,000 bet, and he'll give it to Great Ormond Street Hospital.
I'll take that bet all day long. Man City will win the title. It ain't even up for the.
So he's done that now. So we're going to lock that in, people. Timestamp that, please, KJ. $2,000 to Great Ormond Street Hospital. So if City win it, Tie Box has to pay $2,000 to Great Ormond Street. If Arsenal win it, Lee Gunner has to give £2,000 to Great Ormond Street Hospital. Brilliant bet there, and to a brilliant charity as well.
That KJ, so they're clipping me all the time.
Husam knows football. Goat, keep it up, bro, is what Sam says here. Same. Some will say Lee is a realist. Some will say Lee is hyper negative. To me, he has to be the most toxic Arsenal fan. Choose your own poison.
Oh, do you reckon Madrid have these fans that are all super toxic positive? Oh, they don't, do they? No, they don't. They've got the biggest fan base on the planet. Yeah, they're all on the same page. Win or get sacked. Simple.
Genuinely, Arsenal has to win the treble this season to end this fan civil war. Also, Terry's talent ID scouting League Gunner Millions is elite. Scouting your minions. What? It's not that. It's not like that. I don't. People always say I get Arsenal fans on just to be negative. I'm like, I think I've got more positive ones than negative ones. Husam, I think we win the Europa League. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is I've enjoyed the last hour of the show where I haven't spoken about my football club. That's my real thought. So I'm trying to do Europa League hype. We're 6-time Champions League winners.
I love this. This here says three top tier lads. Guys, thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Already done that one. I put it up again by mistake. Julian looks like a bobfish. Husam, will you take Havertz at Liverpool?
No, I won't, because we need that.
Oh, DM. There you go then. Thank you very much.
Because we need a DM, Lee. I just gave you the reason. We need a DM. We need a DM.
Imagine if all the Arsenal fans demanded as much as Lee did from the club. Arsenal fans lost their standards except for one or two out there.
This is exactly why Real Madrid keep winning, mate, because 99.9% of their fans, which are mostly online and overseas, have the same standard for their club as the match day fans. Yeah, and that is the difference between that club that we knocked the stadium down to be like and Arsenal. Yeah, because our fans online are exactly what you're seeing here on the pinned comments.
I love Rafikov's comment. He's like, fuck your standards, Lee.
Cool, man.
These Arsenal fans rile me up, Terry. I tell you, for 3 years, he was Kai Havertz, and now he's an Arsenal player. He's good. BS fan base still. Look, that is a very, very fair comment, but that's why sometimes you just got to choose your poison correctly. Brutal chat today. Someone give Lee. I've already done that one there. Imagine being Lee's wife. I'm sure they don't talk football.
Mate, I only talk football when I'm on YouTube. That's it. I've got more interesting things to be talking about.
Exactly. I may be ribbing Lee a bit to make but make no mistake. As a gooner who watched the Invincible team, I want a trophies this season. No excuses.
Okay, stop right there. Sorry. I know you've got loads to get through, and we're well over. Yeah, no excuses. So that means you're holding somebody accountable at the end of the season if there is no trophies. Then, right? Cool, got ya. We move.
This show's directed by Steven Spielberg, ladies and gentlemen.
No, but if there's no excuse, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans online saying, no, he has to win a trophy this season. No excuses. Cool. Well, there's no excuses then, is there?
I've just been sent an update off topic from a journalist who said, Terry, just letting you know that Balogun's agent was spotted at Chelsea's sporting director at the Chelsea hotel this morning. Just putting it out there, people. Balogun
they sent that to me as well. I don't know if you believe it or not, though.
Yeah, that same dude. Yeah, he says he's a journalist. I'll have a look into it later. Wait, so we can't have more than one formation, is what Shane says here.
It's not about the formation, it's about the personnel in the formation, my friend. Since in what planet is Thomas Partey a right back? What planet is Kai Havertz a CM?
Apparently. Apparently Ajax won't sell Kudus after they lost a lot of their players this summer. They see him as a big part of their rebuild. But they were willing to sell him for £3 million the other day. It's about money. They'll sell him for the right cash. Ibi says Lee said last week, Ronaldo is not in the top 50 players of all time and not in my top 10 of the last 20 years. I just want to see Husam's reaction.
Ibi, I'm a Messi guy. I'm not a Ronaldo guy, but it's not surprising coming from the guy that thinks Mo Salah as well, Beck. It's funny because if he had Mo Salah on his right wing, last season, he'd be sat here Premier League winner because the goals do fucking matter. So yeah, big up.
Julian knows more than Lee. Cry now cry is what Enigma says. This is exactly Husam, but you won't take him at your team
because we need a DM. That's why I wouldn't fucking take him.
But McAllister is a DM. He can play DM. He played DM.
No, he isn't.
He played DM for Brighton.
Behave.
Lee, though, you said that Partey is not a right back. A Ghanaian man told me last night he's played there for Ghana.
Yeah, he's played there for Atleti as well. Yeah,
I'm just winding you up. The matter of fact, Kai and Mason won them the Champions League. Yes, that's a lifetime ago now.
Jorginho, Kante, others.
Best panel. Big up you guys. It has been a great panel today. It has.
Big up Jan, man. Big up.
If we don't win something, Arteta should be gone. No excuses, but I do enjoy a win still and the journey. So I think that's an absolute fair way to look at it.
Forehead. Yeah, my forehead was a lot shorter 20 years ago when the journey actually resulted in success.
Hey,
the destination is the Premier League title. Remember Husam told you so, Arsenal fans.
Joey here says you guys are absolute quality. Made my night. You three should do this every day. Just hilarious. It wouldn't be funny every day.
Me getting rattled by Terry every day. No, I need a break for a week.
Why you were saying Arsenal were title contenders in August after the Fulham game? No. So what I said. Go back and watch it. I said I believe they would develop as a team over the season and become title contenders. As they got into and what I did after Liverpool's poor start, I changed Arsenal from coming third to second. Then in around November, just before the World Cup, I said I think Arsenal will go on to win the league. So again, yeah, it was very different. By the way, by February, me and Lee were both saying they were going to win the league. So yeah, that's what was said last year, my friend. Afternoon, don't forget some Arsenal fans compared Klopp to their manager. Klopp is fourth season, won the Champions League. It's true.
In fact, actually, hold on. In the first full season of Klopp, he got top 4. It took this manager 4 years.
True.
Or 3.5 years.
Lee, are you saying Barca are not going to win La Liga?
100%. Xavi's getting sacked this season. They are shocking. Yeah, they scraped over the line against Cadiz the other night. Jesus Christ. He's getting sacked and Real Madrid walked the title.
There we go. Why is Lee complaining about the bench? Top teams have good players on the bench. It's called squad depth and rotation.
Cool. We'll save that for when you come back in January and say, oh, we've got the thin squad.
We need Sava versus Lee Gunner next week, Terry. Yeah, well, I'll go try and get Sava back on, which has been struggling to get time to fit everyone.
Sava's not feeling my Brighton vibe either.
No, we will. What we are going to do, we're going to do a lot of these triple threats, but we are going to do a few over the season when we get all the straight facts guys, all 6 of us on at the same time for a show. That will be fire. Off topic, rank these 5 managers: Bob Paisley, Fergie, Mourinho, Pep. Is that 5? That's 4.
Yeah,
yeah, it's 4 managers. We'll throw Wenger into it as well. I asked the question because maybe I'm the only one that puts Bob Paisley in my top 3. Yeah, your top 5, including Wenger, out of those managers.
What do you mean Wenger? Why is Wenger in the list? Where's Ancelotti?
Okay, throw Ancelotti in. A good one.
Well, I wasn't old enough to witness Bob Paisley, but I know what he's won. But Fergie for me is number 1. Fergie for me is number 1. Yeah, Paisley I'd go second. This is where it comes hard. Pep 3rd, Ancelotti 4th, Mourinho 5th.
I would go with exactly the same, but I would put Paisley 2nd and Pep. I'd put Pep. Sorry, Paisley would go 3rd, and I would put Pep 2nd. Sam?
Paisley 1st, Ferguson 2nd. 3rd is probably Mourinho. 4th, Pep. 5th, Ancelotti. And 6th, Wenger.
Wenger's not 6 even with no one else in it. Because anyway,
I just put Wenger in there.
Who would you say is the better manager, Lee? Klopp or Wenger? Like achievement-wise, career, like
Klopp. He won a Champions League. Wenger never done anything in Europe.
It's 3 title leads each, but Klopp has a Champions League. That's the thing.
Yeah. The only thing good about Havertz is his misses. Otherwise, he's dead. Big up everyone in the panel.
Tyler, what the fuck are you doing in your spare time, brother?
I'm waiting for Arsenal to start putting up the dog banners again, because apparently he's got a weird fetish with dogs. So I don't know.
Man's rolling around like Dillian Dennis. Have you seen what Dillian Dennis has been doing to Logan Paul? Just putting pictures of his misses up of all these different men. I'm like, man, that has got to hurt. Lee, yes, I will hold somebody responsible. By the way, Lee, do you understand Partey is played as a right back to inverted back into the DM role?
Inverted rubbish, mate. I don't care about inverted crap. Yeah, just win a title.
There we go. Listen, boys, it's been honestly my favorite straight fact show ever. Lee, I'm
Newcastle appeal successful. Newcastle, you're holding
FSG in.
Listen, viewers, smash the like button before you leave. To all my super chatters, I genuinely, bona fiably love you from the bottom of my heart. The rest of my viewers, you're amazing. You're the best community on social media. Lee, the Don, always a pleasure to speak football with you. And I want to say to Mr. Tie Box for the £200 donation, you absolute gem of a man. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again next week with Lee Gunner.